They can take your world. They can take your heart. Cut you loose from all you know. But if it's your fate, then every step forward will always be a step closer to home. Kingdom Hearts 3!
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Hello.
John Ericus Brandon.
Wait, who's that?
Well, I'll explain it. And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And
Princess
this is a podcast where we...
Excuse me, I'm not done.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
I'm Vanessa, Princess of Heart.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs, one chunker at a time. And we're going to talk about some Kingdom Hearts 3.
What?
Yeah.
That's not how we do. Every game we do is at least 10 years old, and it's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like we, especially John, needed a change of pace after Xenogears.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough series for all of us, I think, in different ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But look at us starting fresh with a nice, light, poppy, zippy Disney property that's fun to play. I think it's a good change of pace, and I applaud our listeners for picking this game.
But what about the listeners who are upset?
We condemn them.
Suck it. Suck it.
Wow. Why are we playing this instead of Birth by Sleep? It's very confusing.
Because it's 2022, it's up to you.
If they wanted us to play Birth by Sleep, it would have won the poll, man.
That's true.
Voters never get it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, guys, before we get into all this sweet, deep Kingdom Hearts lore, does anybody have any hot gaming news you'd like to share with the group?
Not me.
Feel like it's been a kind of a light week for hot gaming news.
I have not been paying attention to any gaming news.
Yeah, well, what's been happening this week? I know that patch for all those Resident Evil games to make them work on Series X and Series S and PS5 and PCs with ray tracing came out.
Did we ever talk about how the Persona games are coming to the Xbox and, I think the Switch and Steam? That's exciting.
I don't think so. Yeah,
let's talk about that. So it's definitely coming. I didn't hear about Switch and Steam, but I didn't look into it that much.
No, they haven't said Switch, but they did
guessing.
announce PC, I believe.
Because
it's pretty much everywhere but Switch at this point.
It's Persona 3 portable. Some people are upset that it's not FES because it doesn't have the walking around part, that's a little bit of a bummer. I did like walking around, but Persona 3 Portable has both storylines complete, and I think that's important because you can play as both as boy protagonist and girl protagonist.
But taking out the walking away is a big bummer, and that stinks.
But you still get all 5 games, or not 5 games.
I don't want it like that.
Games.
I want it with walking around.
But I also my bummer is that they didn't try with Persona 1 and 2 because I think those are, especially 2 with both parts of it, that would take a little bit more work because they probably have to. They've redone Persona 2 Innocent Sin, but they haven't redone Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. So they'd have to redo that. And
Persona 1 and 2 are actually comprised of 3 games.
Yes.
You know how that goes.
It is, and because part 2 is the sequel to part 1, which makes sense. Anyway, sorry, my brain is still a little off.
A little groggy?
Yeah.
What else? Any other gaming news?
I got some. I have some new gaming news, just from me, hot off the presses. I don't think you guys have heard this yet. There's a new map coming in PUBG.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah, I heard that from Matt, and he said it's going to be 8x8, and that's all I know about it, because that's all Matt told me.
I can't remember the name now. I can't remember what the name is, but it's exciting. Yeah,
You
big
say
one,
that,
big boy.
but
It'll be
you-
Erangel sized. They had a
You
short
say-
teaser. They had a short teaser, and there's a very large city in it. So that's kind of what everybody has been hoping for, I think, and I'm excited. Right?
You say that now, but earlier this week you said that you hope you don't have to play PUBG again.
Yeah, that's true too. I have not played PUBG in like a month, and as usual, like as with most addicts, now that I'm off the bandwagon, I'm feeling good. I don't want to play more PUBG, but that new map is going to come out, and I am going to have to try it out, and we'll see how that goes. You know, maybe
I'm
this
sure
time
it
I
will
can
be
get it under
fine
control.
Fun. Yeah. We'll just do it once or twice and then walk away.
Yep. Well, anyway, is that it for hot gaming news? We're a little light this week. That's okay. That's all right. Here's my hot gaming news. We're recording this during a hockey game that Matthew wants to be watching, so that's a hot game. And here's another hot game. It's called How Did You Level Up?
Oh.
Jim.
I'll go first. I went to the movie theaters real late last night.
What?
Meaning I went after 10 p.m.
That's too late
And
to go to
I
a
saw a movie called The Black Phone.
This is
The
a
Black
movie
Phone?
what has been advertising for months, like 8 months ago
well,
or
it
something.
it was originally slated for release in February, but I guess the studio said this is a real good movie, and they pushed it to summer.
What kind of foam?
Phone, like telephone. It's a good movie. It is a horror film starring Ethan Hawke, who plays a hilariously named villain called the Grabber that grabs kids and murders them. And it's about a kid that gets abducted by Ethan Hawke, and there's like this broken phone that's in this little cell that he's in, and it rings, and it's the killer's past victims who are trying to help him escape. It's real good. It's actually pretty scary. I jumped out of my seat a couple of times. There's some good jump scares in it. And it's really like kind of unflinching in the sense it doesn't cut any corners, man. It goes pretty hard when it comes to the horror stuff. And I liked it a lot. And Ethan Hawke is super creepy, playing like a serial killer guy. I thought it was really good. So recommend from me.
How much?
Vanessa,
how similar was he in it to his character in Moon Knight that he just played? Was he the same character?
Like most Americans
think?
did not watch Moon Knight.
I don't know that that's true.
Wow. I think it's probably true that most Americans didn't watch
That's
Moon
true.
Knight.
It's
I don't
true
think
that
there's
most
any
Americans
show that
don't
most
watch anything.
Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't see. Well, I did see the first 2 episodes of Moon Knight, and I say that he's like a creepy. It's way different. Like he's like a self-serious guy in Moon Knight. In The Black Phone, he's like an emotionally stunted, sadistic serial killer.
Ooh, can't wait to never watch that.
It's good. I liked it. Vanessa, how did you level up?
Well, we've probably talked about it before, but I feel like we're near the midway point here. It's time to talk about Miss Marvel again. Are you sleeping on Miss Marvel? Don't.
Yeah.
She's a person, not a mattress.
I'm sleeping on it.
It's real good.
It's probably
I
for
think
the best.
It's one of the best things that Marvel has put out in a goodly long time. And it's good on 2 fronts, on the superhero front and on the teen coming-of-age girl show front. It's very feminine, and I like that about it a lot. Matt.
I love Miss Marvel. It's a great show. It's fantastic, and I love it. I made my daughter watch some of the last episode with me, but she did not pay much attention. It was very much, she was protesting watching it with me. She protests watching anything
sit
with
down
me.
and you watch
It's not
Miss
the
Marvel.
anime that she wants to watch.
Sit down and shut up.
Yeah, I don't think that's so much as a
YouTube.
comment on the show, but it's a comment on the stuff that your parents watch. When I was
And the stuff I watch is
kid.
too cool, so she has to hate it.
when I was a teen, and obviously I'm talking about reruns here because I wasn't alive when Buffy was first on the air.
So just a
But I remember
few years ago when you were
Just
a teen.
a few years ago when I was a teen, my mom was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer on TV, and I came downstairs and I was like, oh, lame. Ugh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that movie sucks. The show probably sucks too. Boo. And turns out it was okay. It's a true story.
I loved that movie.
So did my mom.
I didn't watch the show because I was like, I had no interest in that show for a long time because I was like, come on, that movie was good. I don't need a show. It's true. And it didn't have any of my favorite people in it, like Buffy.
Did you eventually watch it and found out it was pretty good?
Buffy? I eventually watched it and found that it was not really for me.
Oh, wow. Hot take.
I'm not a big fan of B television, honestly. Like, old, like I got into Star Trek, but only recently. I certainly didn't watch that back in the day,
Did you
I think
not?
I was like a few years too young for Buffy. I think if I would have been a couple years older, I would have watched it, but I think it missed me.
Yeah, you were just a
just
little
barely.
boy.
To me, it was like right up there with like Hercules and Xena as
Oh,
like shows
no.
that
It's a lot better
looked
than
like
those two.
trash when you turned them onto your television. And I was
To me,
like,
it was
no,
like Charmed. I
thank
think-
you.
It used to play in that same like block on like TNT as Charmed.
An
That's-
angel, of
I think
course.
at one point-
and
I also
Supernatural.
think it's a lot
Yeah.
better than Charmed. The writing's a lot sharper than Charmed.
You know what? I never like watched Charmed religiously, but when it played like at the gym and stuff, I liked watching Charmed.
I mean, I think we talked about this recently on the show.
Yeah.
My ex-wife loved Charmed, and I did not
I
mind
don't
watching
think we
Charmed.
have. I don't remember ever
I've
talking about
definitely
Charmed.
mentioned watching the hot women in the show, but never understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
They're
I
witches.
did not
sisters.
like Charmed.
And then eventually one of them
neither.
goes away and gets replaced by
A
somebody.
different one.
What's
A
her
different
name?
sister, I think.
Rose?
Rose
Megan Mullally.
McGowan.
Rose McGowan.
Not Megan Mullally. That would have been a
No.
great show.
And then at the end of the show, Kaylee, whatever her name is, Cuoco from The Big
Roseanne
Bang
was a
Theory
sister at one
was
point, I think.
kind of a sister there for the last couple of seasons. Know what I'm talking about? Remember that?
Who?
Kaylee Cuoco?
Haley
Lady-
Seinfeld?
She was on Charmed.
Kaylee Cuoco from
Kelly Cuoco, who was on
Big
the
Bang
Big Bang Theory
Theory.
and is now
Oh.
on the
Harley
the
Quinn?
the flight
and the flight
attendant?
attendant. Harley Quinn's very good.
The cartoon?
Yeah, it's fun.
It is good. I agree.
Anyway, this was about Miss Marvel, and it's great.
Yeah, it's great. Plugs for that. That's how I leveled up. I don't want to like be that Vanessa. But obviously everyone knows that the Taskmaster current season ended. It's really difficult. It's really hard. It's a dark time
Yeah.
for me. It's a dark time for Britain. And it's a dark time for other countries where Taskmaster airs, which I do not know what they are.
I bet America's one of them.
It's certainly not.
What? What about Canada? You know Canada gets all that British TV
That's true. I don't know the Canada situation.
because they're still a colony, I believe.
They're,
is
yeah,
technically what
they're a
we've
colony.
learned
and
over the years from
Yep.
knowing Johnny Brandon on this show.
that's why they have the Queen on their money. John, again, doesn't come up that often, is a British citizen. So I don't know why we always just put him in this Canadian bubble. He's as English as he is Canadian.
It's true. Maybe more so.
Maybe more so. So, the next season isn't going to come out till like October or something. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Watch the Umbrella Academy, I guess.
Oh, I watched the first episode. That show's so good.
Is it? I never got into it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's great.
I feel
I like
like
it a lot.
I've been tired of hot takes on superheroes for years. I did not want to get into The Boys, but they hooked me. They got me.
It's not like a hot take. They're just like superheroes.
I
that,
know. I read
like,
the comic
are
book that it was based on.
really well characterized. It's a well written show.
And it's
I'm
not
excited
about
to see
Resident
what they
Evil.
do with it. Nope. I'm excited to see what they do with Vanya, who was
Yeah,
my
Elliot
favorite character.
Page's character.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not there yet because I haven't seen Elliot perform in anything recently, but I might be on the cusp of a crush. It could happen. I feel that I'm going to be tipped over the edge there. So, looking
I haven't
forward
seen
to
the
that.
whole series, but I've read that they handle his transition really well in the context of the show and the writing. So I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Johnny, how did you level up?
my computer came, that new computer box that I ordered. It got here. It took a couple of days to get here because, once again, I live in a coach house, and no matter how many instructions you put in, like don't deliver it to the main house. I won't be there. They're never home. Please go to the back to the other house that I actually live in. And for then, all the delivery people are like, "Yeah, I'm not going to read these words," you know. But I got it. They did leave it on the front porch of my neighbor's house when I didn't find out for a few hours. And it just, not in like a hidden box, a box that just says expensive computer on it. But it didn't get stolen. Anyway, it's got the ray tracing. It looks really pretty. And I've been like downloading games, like Cyberpunk's really impressive on it.
Ooh. Oh yeah, I saw your video. That looked amazing.
Yeah, the lighting is crazy. That's probably the best looking game that I've played on it so far. I want to try.
Yeah, wow.
Apparently, that Minecraft RTX is really good, but I'll have to look into how to download that.
Minecraft looks like Blicky Blocks.
Right, but there's a version of Blicky Blocks with really pretty lighting. Basically, like it looks real with the lighting. So I want to try that. And there's a version of Quake as well. That one requires like some putting on mods and stuff too. It's always nice to have a new fresh computer install though. Like it just feels soft and clean. And plus this computer didn't come with a bloatware. It did worry me because my Bluetooth controller kept disconnecting. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to get this fixed. But there was a bit that came with my computer. I was like, this probably isn't important. And it turns out it's an antenna that you plug into the back for the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi.
Wow.
So
Weird.
I plug that antenna in. And now guess what? My Bluetooth controllers work just fine. I also, let's see, what have I played that had ray tracing or good graphics in it? I haven't started up the Resident Evil 2, which has the ray tracing in it yet.
The Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah. I have that.
Man, those remakes look real good. Although I heard the third one wasn't that good.
It looks amazing. I think if you like the third, it's, remember that third game did not get stellar reviews when it came out.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know. Yeah, so I've just been sort of having fun going through. I haven't bought any new games, but I have plenty of old games that... Elden Ring runs perfectly smooth, which is nice. Because it did not run perfectly smooth on Xbox.
Wow.
Or my old PC. So it's nice to see it, run flawlessly. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I also watched the video for Cameo's Word Up, which I had not seen since I was a child. I strongly recommend you seek out that video because it's bonkers. Have you seen this video, Vanessa?
I can't recall, but I was tonight watching the video for the song Agadoo because that came up and the person I was with did not know what it was.
What
so
is
I
that?
recommend you watch the video for Agadoo.
What's that?
Well, it's a song, my friends.
Okay. Well, this video of Word Up by Cameo, it stars LeVar Burton as a police officer who's trying to arrest the funk band Cameo. And it's like it was filmed by Tim Burton during his Batman era. Like it's got all those shadows, but it's also got like crazy 80s dancing and cutting. Oh, it's fantastic. The main guy from Cameo, he wears this in a lot of his videos, like a tight spandex bodysuit and then a red codpiece.
Nice.
And he's apparently straight, but he's very much dressed in like gay fetish gear. The whole band is in another video. It's very interesting.
That was the 80s for you.
Yeah. Remember like in Beverly Hills Cop when those two guys were in colored leather, like holding hands, and Axel Foley like turns and looks at them and laughs. They're sort of dressed like Michael Jackson from Beat It or Thriller. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that's how I leveled up. Who hasn't leveled up yet? Matthew?
Matt.
Matthew, how did you level up?
It's me. It's Matt. I leveled up. I did it. I leveled up too. I did. You know what I've been doing lately that's a little different, I mean, I could talk about The Boys or Kenobi or something like that, which I heard. But you know what I did this weekend that was super fun? I played Dungeons and Dragons. Wow.
Whoa, with our good friend Steven Stone
That's true.
as DM, right?
That's true, with our good friend Steven Stone
I
as
thought
DM.
you weren't playing Dungeons and Dragons. You were playing something else.
Is it Pathfinder?
Well,
or
we're
something?
playing Curse of Strahd, which is a Dungeons and Dragons like module, but it's still just Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
set
I
in
didn't
regular
realize
old
that.
Dungeons and Dragons. Why? Do you want to join? Do you want to come play?
As I said before, because I was very kindly invited, I cannot commit the time to play your Dungeons
Anyway.
and Dragons game.
It was super fun, and we're gonna play again tomorrow, and I'm super excited. And that's it. That's all I have to say. Curse of Strahd. I'll tell you. Can I tell you about my great character that I created?
Sure.
Of course.
It's a. He's a. What are they called? No, I can't think of the name.
Bird.
Birdman.
Dwarf.
He's a
Birdman.
He's a birdman. He's a kenku, which is like a bird that can't fly.
Well,
And,
I played Dungeons and Dragons, but I never heard of a Kimco.
Kenku is a burb. He's like they're like ravens or like crow people, and they can't talk and they can't, but they can mimic well enough to mimic talking.
What?
Listen, it makes sense. And
What's
they
the
can't.
difference? No, it doesn't.
They're kind of like
Like-
bumblebees, you know.
So
They're
you
kind
can
of
go
like
like,
Bumblebee
"Hello,
from Transformers,
Polly wants a
where they can't
cracker."
really talk. They can't talk, but they can form sentences from snippets of other things. But you know, I'm just trying to play a game, so we don't make me do that. But
see.
anyway, he's a Kenku wizard, and I rolled him up with high sneakiness, not roguiness, but like deception and stuff, so that I would be able to lie my way out of any situation, which sounds like a lot of fun. And in the first game, my wizard found his name is Zert, because that's his name, and he found a top hat, and that was the rest of the game for me. Was Birdman with a top hat. You
You're
know?
describing a magician,
Sweet.
someone who lies and does magic and wears
No.
a top hat and
Kind
is
of.
a verb.
It's not lying, it's entertaining.
It's kind of. No, because I'm not doing like illusion magic. I'm doing regular magic, but
Doing real magic.
but all of my social skills are engineered towards deceiving people, and that is so that I can, because the Kenkus are like perfect mimics, so a lot of they're already geared towards, you know, roguery, and I kind of made that something a little different for fun. It's fun. I lied to some ghost children and then ran away from them. It was great.
Did you know they were ghosts?
I knew they were ghosts. I did
Cool.
not know they were going to try to possess me.
Oh, well, that's what ghosts do.
Anyway, that's what I've been doing. That's it. It's fun. We're playing Curse of Strahd. Thank you, Dr. Steve Stone, a.k.a. Stan, for being a great DM.
Guys. You guys ready to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3?
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited.
What is there to talk about?
Let's get into the quest log.
I'm so excited.
Okay, so I want to know if you guys could gauge it as a percentage, how much of this opening cinematic did you understand? Oh, wait, well, I guess before we get into that, what's your guys' history with Kingdom Hearts 3? Have you guys played it before, attempted to play it?
I'd like to say what mine is.
Okay.
It came out. I have a friend named Jim who is super into Kingdom Hearts, and he was very excited to play it. So he rushed out and got it right away. And then he played it, and then he told me it was not good, so I didn't play it.
He did. Did it come out right after we played Kingdom Hearts 2?
Yeah, that might have been the other problem that we
Or
just
it came out
played
right
2
around
or
when we
something.
played Kingdom Hearts 2. I think.
Yeah.
No, it was way before that. It was at least a year before that.
Was it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, Vanessa's right. Jim was all like, poo-poo, it's okay,
Yeah.
I guess. And for months, you were like, I guess, I still play it sometimes. Wah, wah, wah. I hate the stupid attacks.
I know. Yeah. I was like, I was so excited for this game. I don't know that I'd ever been so hyped to get a game before. It was something that because I had played through almost the entire series with my daughter, and so I was like, man, Kingdom Hearts 3 is gonna be so great. So excited. Had a lot of stock put in it, and then I got it, and it's not a bad game. In fact, I'm really enjoying it. on this playthrough, and I have nothing but good things to say about it. But
Hey,
I
save
just
it for the
bounced
final
off it really
episode.
hard. Yeah, I just bounced off it really hard when it came out. So, I was disappointed, and I played it for a little bit, got like halfway through it, and then just kind of put it away. Never really picked it up again.
Almost
Attempted to
like-
play it when it was on Game Pass, but still bounced off of it.
Almost like it's a journey that you have to take with your friends.
Yeah, and what I didn't realize at the time that I should have realized is that, if it's fate, then every step forward will always be a step closer to home.
Great. You know what? Diving into this game when it finally lets you take control of the game 2 hours in, it is a joy to just run around as Sora again in a really beautiful 3D environment. It
and
looks
so
nice
smooth.
and it moves
Yeah.
smooth. There's almost too many systems going on, but like it's semi-manageable.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel
one
very
thing-
deep yet, but I'm not very far into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So I mean, before we get into the actual gameplay, I did want to talk about the opening cinematic because there's a lot of references to games that we have not covered for the show.
By references, you
but
mean
are
direct
really
cutscenes
big
from.
in terms of Kingdom Hearts lore. So
Hang on,
I
Direct
wanted to
cutscenes
ask,
from
Jim?
with no.
I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3 before. I've only seen you guys talk about it, and then and both of you buy it and then get very disappointed in it. So I assumed
Oh
it
yeah,
wasn't.
sorry, John. I didn't give you a chance to get into it.
I thought you and Matt. I thought Matt.
I've never
Matt got
played
it.
this game.
Oh, okay. Then I thought it was just Jim. I assumed it was the both of you because you both love Kingdom
It's
Hearts.
false. I've never been a big Kingdom Hearts fan at all.
Kingdom Hearts. After buying it, both of you both love
After
Kingdom
playing
Hearts.
2, I do now kind of love Kingdom Hearts.
And what about
Yeah.
that one you wouldn't shut up about, Chain of Memories?
I did like
You
Chain
love
of
Chain of
Memories a lot.
Memories.
Yes, what
Yeah.
a fun game. I don't want to play it again, though.
I don't ever want to play it.
We should talk about that segment of the listeners that are concerned that we won't know what's going on because we aren't playing the games in the
Don't
proper
worry.
order.
We won't.
I did some homework. I watched a lore video about the games that I haven't played, so I'm all caught up.
I
Now the
did
question
not.
is, will I remember anything from it?
Yeah, I will say the game makes two very big assumptions, right from the jump, from the opening of the first cinematic, is that you know what happened in Birth by Sleep and you know what happened in Dream Drop Distance. And it really depends on you understanding those, the lore of those two games to understand a lot of what happens in these cinematics.
Well, you know what? I'm going to concentrate. First of all, I'm generally getting it by context clues. It's like, how when you play Halo 3, it doesn't start where Halo 2 left off,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, I mean, I could go back and read those comics, but I'm not gonna. So I'll just kind of roll with it. It seems like they've got a lot of stuff going on, that a lot of people are not dead that you thought were dead. That seems to be the most biggest change. Also, maybe some
Yeah.
bad guys aren't bad guys. That was another
Yeah,
big
to me, the
change.
most confusing thing is that, because in Kingdom Hearts 2, the Organization 13, they're the big bads. You had to fight all those organization members. It between 2 and 3, they gave all of them, really pretty much all of them, backstories, and some of them are still bad, some of them are good, but then while they were good decided to become bad again, and then some are permanently good and are helping you now. So there's just a lot going on with the organization.
There's one point where the camera turns and there's two bad guys right next to your party in this chunker, and they're like, "Oh, here's Zarnas and Zigbar."
Oh, are you talking about in front of the mansion?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
I don't believe you could remember
What?
those guys. Those guys were the big bads from Kingdom Hearts 2.
I'm saying I remember them, but why are they bad, or why are they good friends now? What?
They're not good friends.
Oh, I thought they were helping.
No.
Are they good friends with each other?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're kissing friends with each other. They're
They're
like,
the
technically,
same
this isn't gay.
person.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're like, technically, this isn't gay.
Yeah. The Kingdom Hearts lore is real simple. You're a person, you got a heart. If you give into the darkness, you lose your heart. Then you become two different kinds of things. You become a heartless and you become a nobody. Organization 13 was just a whole bunch of nobodies. Some of them got their hearts back now, and they're fine. The end.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, well, I guess we'll get into it as the story goes. Don't want to give away the whole thing yet. So yeah, I guess Vanessa, that's pretty much it. And man, is this a good time to get into Birth by Sleep or no?
Yeah, I mean, give us a little background.
Okay, so Birth by
Jim's
Sleep
recap corner.
Yeah. So Birth by Sleep is a prequel to really all of the mainline games in the series. I don't remember. I'm not even sure if it says how long before the start of the series it takes place. I think maybe 10 years. But it follows 3 protagonists. There's Aqua, Ventus, and Terra.
Hang on. Don't we have a rule around here? Don't we have a rule for Kingdom Hearts games where Jim's not allowed to read backstory to us? I'm pretty sure we have a rule. I'm positive we have a rule. You're not allowed to read the backstory.
But this is important.
No. The game will tell us what we need to know, and kind of does.
We both know that's not true.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
I do think there is an argument for experiencing a game as it is and being able to report back as to what that experience was. But I also think there's an argument for knowing some lore. So I propose that we do both, that Matt takes off his headphones so he cannot hear the backstory.
John, back me up here. This is a long-standing rule on the podcast.
I was going to sum it up
and I'm not
very
going to be
simply.
canceled from this show. Sorry. All right, so let's all agree that the opening cinematic is what we should be talking about here, because there are 2 guys playing chess. We haven't even talked about that yet.
Yeah, there's
This
2
is-
guys.
Well, yeah.
Xenohort and Eriquis, and I don't know why. I thought that it would be Xenohort
and...
No. It's Xenohort is not a Birth by Sleep guy, and Eriquis is...
Xehanort is a Birth by Sleep guy.
Isn't Xehanort
not
the big bad of the whole series?
Yes, he's in Birth by Sleep. He's
He's
not
in
a
all of
playable
them.
character. Well, I mean, you don't know that he's a person until Kingdom Hearts 2, though. But so I don't know. Should I just give a high? Can I give a high level of Birth by Sleep?
Is canceled.
Yeah, tell us how you leveled up by playing Birth by Sleep. What was that about?
Okay. Birth by Sleep. 3 protagonists. There's Aqua, Terra, and Ventus. And so they go on a journey much like Sora's.
Ventus looks like Roxas for no reason.
And so all you need to know to understand the beginning is that when the game ends, Terra was taken over by Xehanort. He was Norted. Ventus was hidden away by Aqua because he is recovering his heart. And Aqua got sucked into the darkness, and she's trapped in the darkness. So,
Oh, no.
And these
This is all
2
before
guys,
Kingdom Hearts?
Yes,
Yeah.
and these 2 guys who are playing chess in the opening cinematic, that's a young Xehanort and a young Eriquis, and they are the Keyblade Masters in Birth by Sleep. Xehanort, obviously the bad guy.
Oh my
Eriquis
God.
is the good guy.
Vanessa, where is your locker?
No, this is fine.
No, you traitor.
It's totally
I'll
fine
get
and
into
good.
Dream Drop Distance when it becomes relevant in a minute. But, so,
Opening cinematic. 2 guys playing chess.
yeah,
This
they
says
are playing
they
chess.
talk about light and dark,
Yeah.
but they don't actually seem to talk. There's definitely a song for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh, we should talk about the song because the song rips.
It's
no,
a
that's
bop.
not the first. That's the first.
Yeah.
That's the second song. The first song. Well, I guess it's all one long thing.
Yeah, it's all one thing. Face My Fears by Hikaru Utada with, I think it's a Deadmau5 doing the...
Oh, doing
The remix?
Yeah, it's not simple and clean.
Doing the wikis on
It's
there,
still
yeah.
not quite as good as simple. It doesn't have the same hook, but it's still a bop. It's still definitely fun.
I like that it's a little more up tempo than Simple and Clean.
Yeah.
Right.
It fits the tone of the game. I think just like Simple and Clean did, because I think Kingdom Hearts 2 had a little heavier story, but
Oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah. But yeah, so we get that cool opening cinematic, and then it kind of opens on that seaside town where Eriquis and Xehanort are. It's a lot of foreshadowing here. They're talking about light and dark, and Eriquis says, "I think the light has some surprises," and Xehanort says, "I hope so." Then it cuts to Sora, Goofy, and Donald in front of Yen Sid. Yen Sid is dressing Sora down because this is where it talks about the end of Dream Drop Distance when Sora failed his Mark of Mastery exam.
Yeah, that seemed like something that didn't happen in this game.
It was definitely Dream Drop Distance. Yeah, so that whole
that's what
game
I was
is
asking
about.
I asked you about that. I did not understand that at all.
Yeah, so Dream Drop Distance is all about Sora and Riku taking their Mark of Mastery exams.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, but like Sora gets compromised by Xehanort in his, and Riku, you have to play as Riku and go into Sora's dreams to help him. But as we cut to Sora for the first time in this game, Yen Sid is dressing him down for failing his Mark of Mastery exam and losing his quote-unquote power of waking and a lot of his strength, and says that, if they're really going to end this thing and fight Xehanort and help his friends, then he's got to get his power back.
Yeah. Why you got to lose all your power, Sora?
Well,
God
it's like
damn it.
it's like a a RPG sequel where there's some reason
It's
they
like Metro.
depower
You know how Metroid loses her powers every
Well, but
time.
she's always on like a mission. She goes back to base. They take her shit away. They give her back her normal shit. They send her back out. That makes sense.
Well, but normally she has it at the start of the game, and then like something happens and her suit breaks, like at the beginning of.
Then you
Metroid.
have to find all the parts
Yeah,
again.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of like that. So Sora has to go on yet another adventure to rediscover his power of waking, which is a power to wake dormant hearts. That's his whole thing.
They're still in pretty good spirits, though. They're just like, yeah, we can do it. Sora will get his powers
Yeah,
back.
they're
No
all.
problem.
This game is so relentlessly positive. I like it.
I like it too.
I like now. I'll mention this now, because I think I can mention it early on. I thought and I realized it. Maybe we mentioned it about the other ones, but the portrayals of the Disney characters are, for the most part, like super authentic to the characters. As we know them.
Yeah,
and it's pretty amazing. Actually,
We won't get into it in this chunker.
Is exciting and fun. It does
We
not
won't get
feel
into
like a game where they were like, here's fucking Donald too. Like it feels like cozy and nice.
They're
It's
well
great.
written. Yeah. I will say that the big issue I have, and we won't really get into it in this chunker, is the guy who's doing Tom Hanks's voice, which the voice actor is actually Tom Hanks's brother.
Is it really?
In real life, yeah. His voice acting is really weird. It's like they recorded it on a computer. As he was dying.
Yeah, as opposed
really
to on
strange.
vinyl like they do for most voice actors.
No, it's very strange. But yeah. So where do we leave off?
There's
So
people
we're
playing
on the
chess.
Gummy ship now.
Yeah, not all of them are
yeah.
perfect,
That.
but Donald and Goofy and Mickey, they really nail for the most part.
Yeah, as soon
Yeah.
as it cut to the Gummy ship, I was like, oh no.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
same.
know.
I
John,
always-
you
It's
were-
even more
John
annoying than ever,
John
by the
was
way.
streaming and he's like, oh.
I always
It's
forget
even
that
worse
the
than
Gummy
ever.
ship exists, and then it shows up, and I'm like, oh, God damn Gummy ship.
Now you have to like travel, you have to like navigate yourself between these fucking worlds. Actually, I don't know if you have to do that in this chunker. Do we not?
Yes,
Yeah,
We do it
there's
once.
one. Yeah,
there's
and it's
And I
not
had a
as like
terrible time
straightforward.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that will
you
continue
can
to
kind
happen.
of roam around. Yeah.
You set all you do is set a marker so that
Yeah,
you can
well,
find it, and that like to get there, and then it just like drops you out, and it's like, here's that fucking big open universe. Go, but I don't know. It's part of me likes it actually, but part of me hates it because I don't want to play it. I don't hate the idea.
Like, if you're really into
Good
this kind
concept,
of thing, I
terrible
can see
execution.
this being cool, but I like the big, like, kind of sandbox they give you with the Gummy ship. Like, you can go all around these zones and open all the treasure
Yeah,
planets
the
and
treasure
stuff.
zone, the treasure things are cool. I did a couple of
Yeah,
those.
the treasure spheres. Yeah. Those are fun. And you can go all around there. You don't have to, like, you can roam around the whole thing. But
large.
it is, I think the worst part about the Gummy stuff is the menus. Because trying to like build your own Gummy ship feels nearly fucking impossible.
Why would you want to do
so
that?
terrible.
Though? That sounds like a
Well, you
terrible
can-
idea.
Well, you can get different parts and stuff for different teeny ships.
I had
We'll talk
a,
about that
I
later.
did have, I did buy some blueprints and figuring out how to get the new blueprint to be the ship that I wanted to use was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it sucks.
My Gummy ship experience was I got control of it, immediately flew just off into space, like flying up and up and up. And I was shouting, "What's happening? Why won't you control?" And then I realized it was because the controls weren't inverted. And I was trying to fly it with inverted controls without changing the settings.
Yeah, I had to change the settings as well. It's annoying. Inverted controls, boring, bad, not good.
So we first start out. Then when does it cut to Mickey and Riku, who's now a boy again? He's not. No, he's not a boy. He looks like an Enchanted Arms character. Like he looks like a very I guess he's an adult. Which he's
like an older teenager.
Yeah, he's like an older teen. He looks like aged an adult. Up a little bit.
No, but and Mickey comments on how he aged fast or something. I don't know. To me, he looks like a grown up from Enchanted Arms. Like he's got that Enchanted Arms model and hair.
Yeah. Well, Riku has had a lot of weird transformations because I don't know if you guys remember from the second game.
Yeah.
Riku like lost his body and he was in another body, and it wasn't until that big Kingdom Hearts machine at the end blew up that it somehow changed him back to regular Riku.
Yeah. They talk about it a little bit in this one. One thing I appreciate about this game is that it seems as confused about what's happening as I am, and that's a plus. It does try to explain itself too a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Ansem and Xemnas and Xehanort.
Yeah, John the Dark World is after we do Olympus. When we get all that dialogue between Riku and Mickey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, speaking of Riku and Mickey, they are not present at the beginning here because at the end of Dream Drop Distance, I think it's at the end of... No, it's at... I think it's... So, there was a short, almost like a tech demo Kingdom Hearts game that came out kind of between... Like, right at the end of the PS4 life cycle called... Kingdom Hearts 2-something, a fragmentary passage that was all about Aqua being in the Dark World. And I think that's where some of this Riku, Mickey, we need to go find Aqua stuff comes from. But that's what they're doing right now is they're... So the task that everyone's trying to complete now is to gather all the Keyblade wielders together so that they can take on Xehanort and his organization crew. So... they need Aqua, Ventus, and Terra to complete their kind of Keyblade wielder posse.
What's Xehanort's deal? He still wants that Kingdom Hearts?
Yes, Xehanort's whole deal is he's trying to open Kingdom Hearts because when he was a young master, he traveled around and saw so much darkness on so many worlds that he thought it's best to just kind of erase everything and start over. And his assumption is that light will take over after everything's reset because he thinks darkness has kind of got the edge now. At least that's how I understand it. So he's trying to make this thing called the Keyblade, and Key being some weird X character.
It's like the Greek character Key.
Yeah, that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
It's so stupid because you would not understand it if you did not have the subtitles on.
They're like, we have to make a Keyblade. The Keyblade.
The key, but like everybody's got a Keyblade, so what
I feel like they had a good idea somewhere in there of like, well, there's this Greek character Key that we can kind of use, right? Like that's interesting. How can we use that? And then they did it in the worst way possible.
Yeah, that's like that's a penalty for illegal use of a different alphabet. But that's his whole thing is he's trying to get this Keyblade because it's the Keyblade I think that opens Kingdom Hearts or something and lets him reset all the worlds. So that's his deal.
And the Keyblade appears when Snarf fights Boggy Bok.
Well, so in this game, I believe it's the 7 Hearts of Light need to fight the 13 Vessels of Darkness or something like that. We'll get into that a lot more as the game goes on.
Oh no.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that happening. Because like a lot of so nobody really knows who the Hearts of Light are, and they're trying to understand who the Darkness Vessels are or should be because all the vessels are fragments of Xehanort's heart.
Sorry, what?
Where's the
All
locker, Vanessa? Vanessa,
all of the
this is
organization.
unacceptable.
No, I'm super into it, and
Okay, yeah,
honestly,
so-
I think the Sailor guy has some good ideas. I'm interested in hearing more.
Honestly, the thing that made all the organization lore click for me is understanding that the reason why they got so pissed off in the second game was because they thought that Xehanort was helping them get their hearts back, but really all Xehanort wanted was to take advantage of them to use them for vessels for his own heart so that he could reopen Kingdom Hearts. So between that and the third game, a lot of the organization people are confused. They like Xehanort, they don't like him, but they all understand that being in his little posse means they'll kind of forego themselves and become vessels for him.
Interesting. So they supported a guy who promised them something. Then it turned out he was corrupt and just using them. And now the evidence is kind of coming out and they're changing their perspective as to how they feel about him.
Correct. And we'll start to get cutscenes, not in this chunker, but later. They're so long and so stupid of organization people talking amongst themselves about how they know they were duped and why they're doing what they're doing, and it's so boring. But yeah, that's their whole deal.
They've always been the least interesting part of this series, and it does just continue to go hard on them.
I think
guys
it
with
doesn't.
terrible and awful stupid hair will absolutely be front and center on camera talking for 5 minutes at a time.
I wish that they would have given. Do you guys remember Water Guitar Guy from
Yeah.
I wish there was that guy, but spoiler alert, there's no that guy in this game.
Boo.
I know. He's my favorite guy where he's like, dance, Water, dance! And makes you fight all the guys.
What about Book Twink?
No.
No Book
My
Twink.
favorite one was the one where you tell him he doesn't have a heart and he goes, "We do too have hearts."
Oh, that's right. We get that fucking Kingdom Hearts 2.9 title card. That was so confusing.
Hilarious.
I still don't understand it. What is Kingdom Hearts 2.9?
Going
Olympus?
to Olympus, yeah.
So my understanding, and this is probably not right. Maybe
Poor Matthew.
Maybe I'm just like
I don't want to just talk about fucking lore this whole game. We got to figure out how to do this without lore.
Aw, I'm
No.
having
Once we know
Lore.
it, then we can just
Isn't
play the game.
2.9 is what a fragmentary passage was called, I think. So I think it's meant to telegraph that this is taking place the same time. No, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. No, that doesn't make any sense. Sorry.
Man, you had me going. You had me.
I know. I was for sure for a second.
I'm starting to get a little bit upset the more I think about this tech demo being such an integral part of the lore.
Oh, I know.
That you have to play the tech demo on this particular system
It's
in
really
order
like
to
a Kingdom Hearts
understand
3
what's
tech
happening.
demo. Yeah.
I mean, wasn't Dream Drop Distance a 3DS only game? I mean, that's pretty shitty too, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like when Disney expects you to subscribe to Disney Plus to understand what's going on in Doctor Strange.
That's a good point.
So, little Sora decides that he has to figure out how to get his strength back. And he only knows one dude who was super strong, but lost his strength, but got it back. And that's his
Zigbar.
Yeah,
old
remember
pal.
in Kingdom Hearts 2 when Hercules dove in to save Meg and got his god powers back?
Oh. Wait, okay. I have a question.
Yes.
Why is Sora flexing all the time now?
You asked that on stream, and that's a really good question. He's always doing very manly flexy
But
poses.
he's at Olympus. He does
Yeah,
it
he's-
because
But he does it before,
He
too.
always does this.
He did it like at the headmaster's office, and
Because he was thinking about Hercules.
Because he was thinking about Hercules. I don't understand what's so complicated about this.
Sora takes on the attributes of his friends.
No, that's
when
not
they're
true.
around
He's
him.
just doing his buddies. He's
It
just kind
is
of mocking
true.
and he's kind of
Haven't
mocking
you-
his buddy lovingly, referencing him by
No.
doing.
It's so true. Like, when he goes to visit his friends, he's suddenly dressed like them. Like, he goes to
That's
visit
a good
Ariel,
point.
and he's
Hang
dressed
on.
like a fish.
What did they actually
takes
refer to
on-
it in this?
They explain that he's supposed to fit in, like he's a member of that world to
Yeah.
protect the order, guys.
Order of Worlds. Isn't that what they call it? It's so
yeah,
stupid.
but I think also he's like,
It's lazier in this one, by the way, which aggravates me.
he adapts to whoever
least
he's
what I've
with.
seen so far.
When he thinks about Hercules, he's like, I want to be strong like Hercules. And when he thinks about Jack Skellington, he's like, I want to be a skinny goth bitch. And when he thinks about Ariel, he's like, I want to be a fish.
Those Halloween Town costumes are the best costumes in the series. Maybe the Christmas Town costumes actually are one step above. You know what I'm talking about? Christmas Town costumes? Come on.
You haven't been to Monstropolis yet.
That's true.
Monsters Inc. world.
I've made it to Toy Town, and I'm pretty bummed out by the fact that they're just all the same looking Lego.
Oh my
They're just
god,
blocky.
stop spoiling what's coming on. I haven't even watched it yet. Now I know we go to Monstrosauce.
Yeah.
And
Rapunzel's
Monstrosauce.
world is out there in the thing too.
Hey,
That's not
man.
spoilers. You can see that for
That's
yourself.
that's in the next time. That's in the next time.
I
excited about
definitely
that.
haven't seen that yet.
I'm
Okay,
excited.
so we decide to Sora's with his big old heart is able to open a road to Olympus, or they call it different things because it was like Olympus Coliseum in the first one.
Yeah.
Well, no,
and
in the
second
first one you only.
the-
I was going to say you only go to the Coliseum. This is the
Yeah.
first time you've ever gone to Olympus and run around in Olympus, which is
this-
pretty cool.
and number 2 had Hades, so number 2 was Coliseum, and or sorry, it wasn't Hades. What do they call it?
Underworld.
The Underworld, yes. And then 3 is Olympus and
Thebes. Real
Mount
place.
Olympus. Well, Thebes, yeah, and Mount Olympus.
They're trying to
so-
go to the Colosseum, but Sora is not great at navigating with his heart yet. So I think they land a little off target.
Well, it's either that
Yeah.
or the fact that Olympus is under attack and there are Titans
Well,
running
Thebes
around.
is. So you have to make your
Thebes
way to
is.
Thebes, and
Wait.
this is like your first kind of foray into actual gameplay. And
Is it
man, does running around this game's world feel good. This game is
Yeah.
smooth,
It is.
man.
It
It feels
is.
so fun to run around, and like it lets you move around
There's
the world at just
so much
like the
going on,
perfect
though.
pace where
can
I'm not like
Hold down
in, like, a lo-
RB and aim to teleport, or jump and hit X, Y
yeah, the
near
air
something to
stepping is a
teleport.
thing. Yeah,
It gets really
But,
it's
like-
complex. Like it's doable, but for me it's a little much.
Can we
Probably a complaint.
slide into Johnny's technical breakdown corner?
sure.
Yeah.
So on your super new systems, your Series and your PS5s, and on PC, the action portions of the game run at 60 frames per second. But you will notice whenever it goes to a cutscene, it slows down, but they put on even more graphical effects. Like, so it goes to 30 frames per second, but then suddenly, like, it's got these like really nice lens sort of effects and like depth of field and stuff, and it looks like a Pixar movie. Like, you know how people have been saying that since PS2 games. I would say this
Yeah.
is the first game I've played that looks, well, maybe this or Psychonauts 2 look like
Yeah.
Pixar movies.
It
like,
does for sure but it's like all the characters the humans look very plasticky. Like
Yeah.
Sora already
you know what's-
almost looks like he could be a toy.
You know,
He
like
looks
you're
like plastic.
You're right about that, Matthew, and I feel like that it's weird because I feel like his like look, like his plasticky look, doesn't really stay. It might be like a weird lighting thing in those cutscenes at the beginning because I didn't get that vibe in
yeah,
other
in
cutscenes,
later scenes, like he's got specular highlights under the skin that make him look
Yes, yeah.
less, like it makes his skin look softer
He's
and
got like
less.
facial texture.
Yeah.
And in that one, like it's wrong, so it makes you think that maybe there was like a lighting issue or something in that
yeah,
scene.
maybe because later on he looks like a soft doll, like a small
Yes.
soft doll, rather.
Yeah.
But still, sometimes I was looking at characters in this, and they kind of have that a little bit ugly look, like Bravely Default 2. Like sometimes they look like creepy dolls, but like creepy dolls with human skin, which is maybe worse.
Creepy dolls with
Yeah.
human skin. Cut a man up, let's begin. Sew him in a doll, human skin.
Oh no!
So how did you guys feel about, because like my opinion on this was, in like a lot of RPGs, I'm wishing I can just turn the run button on all the time just to move around the world a little quicker. I felt like the default for this was pretty much perfect. Like I never felt like I wanted to get around faster, that I was moving too slow.
Is there a
It
run
just
button?
feels really good to run around. No, not in Kingdom Hearts 3, no.
Okay.
Like what I'm saying is I was never wishing for one, that I was moving around faster.
Oh, it feels
No way.
good.
I like air dash
Yeah.
as I run. It's never fast enough.
My
Never fast
only
enough.
motion complaint is I keep trying to hit the circle button to recover every time I'm in the air because I had that ability in 2. And it's such an instinct playing Kingdom Hearts now. It's like I smash it and nothing happens. It's very frustrating.
I do the same thing, and this one makes you wait, I think, a frustratingly long time to get that ability back.
No.
I know, it's such a bummer being stun locked all the time.
Yeah, I noticed that Riku has it when you play as him briefly.
Yes, because he didn't lose all his power like
you
a
get that back.
in
I
Dream Drop
had
distance.
that the air recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had that. I think I just got that at the end of the chunker.
Yep. Oh no, it's after the end of this chunker for sure.
Maybe right at the beginning of the next chunker.
I think
That's
it's
about as
probably
far as I am. So, I mean, that's it.
Well, we'll get into that when we talk about abilities, because there are actually different, because like that's what's considered kind of a reprisal ability. There are different reprisal abilities in this game, so that'll be a fun.
Great. Can't wait to talk about reprisal abilities.
Yeah.
Wait, it's time for my corner.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
what's your corner called?
It's time for Vanessa's Greek mythology corner. Everyone knows that I love Greek mythology very much, so here's your little 2-second summary. Mount Olympus is a real place in Greece, and the myth was that the gods lived up on top of it. You could not go up there to visit it. You would die. A couple people tried. One dude tried to fly the Pegasus up there. The gods did kill him. Another dude tried to climb up there. The gods did kill him. It's just not a place that you are allowed to go. So I enjoyed that when you arrive at Mount Olympus, it's just a mountain, as in Greek mythology. And Sora is on his way up the mountain, and you run into Hades, who, of course, is not really a villain in Greek mythology, but because of the dominance of the Judeo-Christian concept of Satan, he is relegated to villain status in a lot of stories because he was the king of the underworld.
It's like the analog for Satan.
Yep.
But I will draw your attention to my notes on this because they read, "We run into noted Hollywood piece of shit James Woods." I said as Hercules. But
Yeah, you said as Hercules,
Hades.
which is
It should
incorrect.
be as Hades.
I
But
wasn't
yeah,
sure if James Woods
is a real
still
piece of
voiced
shit.
him, and I didn't want to look it up because I didn't
I'm
want to
pretty
know.
sure it's still James
Yeah,
Woods.
that was definitely like you can hear
Yeah,
it in his performance. Okay, was Hercules someone from Boy Meets World, or am I mixing that up?
What?
Boy Meets World.
No,
don't know.
Hercules is also from Greek mythology, Johnny.
Oh, okay. So Topanga and Hercules weren't Greek gods.
No. Corey
Okay.
was, but
Right.
not Topanga.
Okay. I meant the actor, Vanessa. I meant the actor. I couldn't remember who voiced Hercules.
But yeah, this is so this game is the way it sets up Hades is that he's basically trying to do the thing that he's trying to do in the actual Hercules movie. So about him like kind of setting up Hercules as immortal so he can conquer Olympus. That's what he's in the middle of doing when you get here. So like this Greek mythology world is one of the few worlds in the first couple Kingdom Hearts games that didn't take place during the plot of the movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're always kind of outside of it, so this is trying to correct that in a way.
I like
isn't
the action figures.
This isn't the first
Yes,
Hercules,
the action
is
figures
it?
are underneath. What's that, Matt?
Is this supposed to be Hercules the movie?
This is kind of taking place between. It almost feels like between the second and third acts of the Hercules movie.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like right when Hades is beginning his assault on
feels like
Olympus.
it. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. That's how I understood it.
Hercules is
weird.
voiced by Tate Donovan. Did we say that? He was not, as far as I can tell, in Boy Meets World, but he was in the OC.
Oh, see?
with,
Wait, what
of
does
course,
Tate Donovan look like?
Ben McKenzie, my favorite crypto activist.
Like
Oh,
pro?
Tate Donovan's a good actor. No, he is an anti-crypto guy for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He does all kinds of like anti-crypto
Yeah.
awareness and things like that.
They did a profile of his anti-crypto stuff. I can't remember what magazine it was in, but it was fucking brutal. He has like no tolerance for crypto.
No,
bros.
and it's really interesting because he like wasn't in it or anything. He's an actor, and then like
Yeah.
during COVID, he didn't have a job, so he's like, "Oh, I'll learn about crypto," and he got really pissed off, and he's like, "This is my thing now."
Yeah, I love it. He just
That's
has
funny.
no mercy for those guys.
And he's married to what's her name from
Topanga.
Things.
Topanga.
No. What's her name? Moira? Moira? No, not Moira. It's like Moira. You know, she was in Firefly. She's in a lot of things.
Morena Baccarin,
Yeah, that's the one.
who played what's the consort lady? What do they call her job in the show?
I don't know. She played
she's like the pleasure woman. She's the pleasure woman in that
Concubine?
show.
Let's
Yeah,
call her a
kinda.
sex therapist.
Yeah. That's who, yeah. She's great in that show.
Sounds great. Anyway, Hercules.
All right, so James Woods as Hades is trying to do all his Hades stuff. And we try to confront him, be like, "Oh, Hades, you're being a bad guy again." And then he uses his titans to like blow us away. Mm-hmm. And he blows us right to Thebes, where Hercules catches us, and we're reunited with our old friend Herc.
So it's not Thebes?
Nope.
Thebes.
Thebes.
Oh,
Real place.
Thebes. You're a real place.
Thank you.
No problem.
So this is a weird cutscene because we're reintroduced to Hercules, and like Thebes is under attack. There's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of it's on fire, and Hercules hears a scream of a woman trapped in a fire, and he points at her, and I thought that they were maybe 20 feet apart.
Yeah.
Oh no, this woman is trapped in that fire over there. Like, we need to help that lady. And so Sora goes to run there, and Hercules is like, no, that's way too far to run, even though I think it's only 20 feet. He's like, get on this big statue of me. So they spend what the game makes you believe to be like 10 minutes climbing up on this thing.
Yeah.
And Hercules picks it up and throws it seemingly 100 miles.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
And the whole time, like, they get up there, they're like, okay. And then they realize he's going to pick it up and throw it. And they're like, wait, stop.
Yeah, we could just walk across the street.
Yeah. Also, Sora's not really a friend of gravity in this game.
Yeah,
like, he
I know.
can't fly,
I-
but he can do
I like how
everything up
floaty they
until
make him.
flying.
If Sora
It doesn't-
hates gravity, why is Donald so Crabbity?
It doesn't even bother to like show what happens, by the way. Like Hercules just throws you, and then it cuts to you standing in the street. Like,
There's a real there's a smash cut, and that lady's like, "Thank you for helping me out of the fire." But now we get to kind of explore Thebes a little bit. And it's not hugely open at this point, but we do get a little fun kind of mini game with Goofy sliding around the fire-stricken places on his shield.
Mm-hmm. There are some people to save. There are some Heartless there as well.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, so the Heartless here initially are these like kind of flaming cauldron guys. Mm-hmm. These are some of the most difficult Heartless that you'll fight in the game, I think.
Yeah,
because
they're tough for starting.
They will form change and bounce around the arena, and no other Heartless that I can think of does this. So it's like, these are pretty difficult for this point in the game.
Well, I think you can defeat them relatively easily by pole dancing, which is Sora's new hobby.
And this game wants you to do, what do they call it? Flow motion.
Mm-hmm.
Flow
so
motion.
Sora can interact with things in the environment, and they'll group enemies, or he can do like special attacks, like AoE
it's like
attacks.
columns and walls, and you can jump into them and off of them. It's very
Yeah, and the game like really
It's a little
stresses
confusing.
verticality at a lot of points, so it wants you to like run up a wall and then crash down. Those are some of the most powerful attacks you can do are those free fall dives.
But the game,
Or
like
grab
every
a column
10,
and spin around.
Yep.
every 10 seconds, it's pushing another green triangle thing for me to
Yeah.
do.
Those
There's
things
so
will never
many
go
of
away.
those.
Yeah. So it has you change forms by hitting Y. You
Yeah.
use these, what do they call them? Attraction attacks by hitting Y. These make
Yep.
no sense in the context
love
of the
them.
story or the world in any way, shape, or form. They are just psychedelic madness that occurs sometimes
I
when
love
you're
it.
killing monsters.
They
I will
are
say
great.
that the
They
attractions
make
are a
the
big
game
part of
easier.
like the attractions are a big part of why I bounced off of it, because it just felt like Disney it just felt like too much Disney.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know.
It didn't make, but like they're fun to do.
Yeah, they're fun
so
to do,
fun
buddy.
to execute, but at the same time, they sucked me right out of the game initially. But once I just let Kingdom Hearts all over me,
I think that they've
liked it.
found a way to, or they're trying to find a way to liven up the fights that have, like, it's like they're like, well, we're not going to cut down on the huge waves of enemies. So instead, we'll give you these absurd, overpowered, almost clear the field attacks to do every 10 seconds. And then on top of that, you have your combo attacks with every character that comes in and out of your party. So these all cycle, there's all used by the Y button, and there's a dedicated button in combat to just cycling through what the Y button's going to be used for. And I think that's kind of shows that maybe they did a little too much.
Well,
like, you got one button to cycle
like,
through all these
you-
fucking things.
When you get to later points in the game, when the battles get a lot harder, it's almost a strategic element to be like, okay, I have all these things for 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and 15 seconds. I need to do this one first, and then I can do this one. Or like I'm low on health, I need to do this one.
Yeah.
They become a lot more strategic as you go along, because you don't want to waste the time to activate an attraction thing when you have like one target on one boss, or at least not that attraction. You want to do like the rage form or a keyblade change or something, or a form change as they call it. So there's a lot of different things you can do. By the way, we should talk about, this is the first game where you can switch between keyblades in battle. I'm not sure if you guys knew that yet.
Yeah, no,
I've
been swapping.
equipped them. What is it? Left and right, probably on the D-pad.
It
D-pad,
is right on the D-pad, yeah.
I figured. I thought that I equipped it and figured that I could do something like that, but kind of forgot about it.
But each keyblade has a different form change. So when you level that up, because it levels up as you hit or take damage, you can activate each keyblade's unique form change, and some of them are
They're
fucking
ridiculous.
cool. They are, like, the ones you get at the beginning are kind of embarrassing in their non-showiness. The later ones are so fucking neat. Like,
I got one called
the way
Arrow
that-
Guns that just turns it into a first-person shooter where you
You'll
blast.
get some that are like big
Away.
robot arms and like a big ship's mast. There are so many cool things, and they're so fun to watch. Like they made the combat in this game so easy to execute and also so pretty to look at. I like it a lot.
I think it sort of fits with the madcap fun adventure that Sora, Donald,
Yeah.
and Goofy are on, like that kind of
That's
attitude.
the thing. I think I maybe took this game too seriously
Yeah.
at first. I wanted
love
it to
the
be
idea-
a thing, and it just wants to be a fun blast.
I love the idea of like Winnie the Pooh or Buzz Lightyear meeting you for the first time, and like you're killing all these monsters, and there are these insane fucking light shows of magical energy just
Yeah.
destroying everything around you, and this character's just like, "Yup, okay,
Cool.
normal. This is normal."
Let's touch just a moment on what the attractions are. They are, of course, from Birth by Sleep when you go to Disland. I'm assuming.
Oh
is
my
where these things
gosh,
come
yeah.
from.
That is a real weird sidestep of Birth by Sleep, because like you run around in all these Disney worlds and there's always stuff to do, and then you get to what is basically a world that's just a Disney World where you can just go do fun stuff, and it's so weird.
What are you talking
Vanessa,
about?
what's
I'm
your
confused.
favorite?
That's in Birth by Sleep.
What's your favorite attraction so far in this game?
Thus far, I would say, it's difficult for me because I am a Disney park fan to separate how I feel about the actual attractions from...
You're a Disney adult.
I'm not a Disney adult. How dare you?
Is she part of a Disney gang?
I'm not part of a Disney gang. I don't have a
Disney adult
jacket.
was a thing that people gave a definition to a few weeks ago.
That term has been around for a while, but now there are like think piece articles about like,
Yeah.
why are
What's
Disney
a
adults
Disney
the most
adult?
hated people on the internet? I haven't been to a Disney park in years. Thank you very much. So, all of that is to say the attractions I have experienced so far have been based on Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters. I am a fan of that ride, but do not hold nostalgia in my heart for it.
That's a good move, though, because it just turns the game into an FPS and lets you blast the whole field, which is...
It's pretty fun. I like blasting. Blasting makes me feel
it's
good.
easy. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, it's even. It's maybe the easiest one that lets you quickly just wipe everybody out and move on with your day.
I maxed out the score on that one by, those like big belly guys. Mm-hmm. I shot one into a corner and just spent the whole time blasting him over and over. And it just, like the score multiplier just kept going and going and going. And I maxed out the 99.99 counter on it.
Nice. When you ride that ride, it gives you a rank based on your score. And I was on it once with a friend. I was looking for my score. I was overly excited, and I loudly proclaimed, "I'm a space case." What I meant to say, of course, is space cadet. But then they called me a space case for the rest of the time. My favorite ride so far has been the one based on Big Thunder Mountain Railway, which of course is the wildest ride in the wilderness. Hang on to your hats and glasses. I am a Disney adult.
Aww.
That is also not a regular attraction command.
Right.
It is purely situational and only shows up maybe twice in the game.
Which
I
one?
like
The railroad.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty fun.
That
The
one
water-
is
the
that's
water
The
one
water
is-
one's
4.5.
great. I love the water
one's
one.
great. It lets you
Oh, the
paint.
Splash Mountain one?
Yeah. It lets
you
Or
paint
the
your own
pirate
path.
one?
Yeah, it's like
not
Yoshi's
Splash Mountain, Jim. It's
Wild Ride.
Water Rapids.
That is true. It's Whitewater Rapids.
Whitewater Rapids is good. The pirate one's kind of the worst one.
I love the pirate one because just streaming it, I'm like, yeah. It goes on way too long.
Yeah, it goes on way too long. All of these I get bored with about halfway through and hit the Y button to finish them up faster. Or LB, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think it's L1 or
Well, L1
left bumper.
cancels them. LB cancels them, and if you
maybe
hit
it's
Y
triangle to
again,
finish. Or R1 to finish. Yeah.
The pirate one's interesting because it's based on a more classic amusement park ride, like the swinging pirate ship, which is not present at Disneyland or Disney World.
That is like a mainstay at every, not just Disney park, but every amusement park.
It's not
ever
at Disney
has
parks.
a version
That's what
of
I'm
that.
saying, Buddo.
Oh, it's not at Disney parks at all?
they don't have a swingy ride. I don't know that I believe that.
They're putting in an Aquaman type ride like that here in DFW at the Six Flags that opens in like 2 weeks.
Lame.
It sounds pretty awesome.
Which Aquaman are they going with? Does he look like Jason Momoa, do you think?
No,
or is
it's
it gonna
like
be
classic Aquaman.
classic blonde, white?
It's classic blonde white Aquaman. This is Texas, bro.
Even classic blonde, white Aquaman, I've noticed they're kind of giving the
I
tattoos
don't think
to
they.
now
I don't
and
think
like
Six
making it look a
Flags
little.
has a license for the new DC things. I think it's all the old classic stuff. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Where are we? So we do get a cutscene, and our old buds, who were not. Well, I guess Pete was in Kingdom Hearts 2 a lot. Maleficent really wasn't, but we get Pete and
They both
Maleficent
were.
together here. And by the way, this is the most Pete and Maleficent you'll get, maybe in the whole game. They're not really around very much.
I love Pete.
They gave Pete's butt jiggle physics, and I laughed so hard at that.
You did.
I really, truly believe that Pete and Maleficent are in a loving, consensual BDSM relationship.
I mean, he could be pan or something. Because I don't know, I always get super gay vibes from him. Obviously,
Oh, that's just because you have a crush on him.
maybe.
It's like when I get a crush on a guy and I'm like, well, he could be straight or bi. They never are, Johnny.
I just want to wear my skin tight leather gear and look up to Maleficent, my findom.
He's almost dressed in a tighter version of what Sora is wearing, which is really interesting. But we run into Pete and Maleficent, and they're looking for, all they say is a black box. And so, and you know what, listeners, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know everything about Kingdom Hearts lore, but I think what they're looking for is, and they call it this later, something called the Book of Prophecies, which may or may not be part of the mobile game. There's a Kingdom Hearts mobile game. And I think this might be a mobile game thing. I'm not totally sure. My cat just jumped in my lap. Look at her.
Aww.
Anyway,
I know.
Pete and Maleficent are looking for a black box. Hades tells them it's probably Pandora's box that Zeus buried somewhere.
Yeah, but it's not. Spoiler alert. So we see Pete and Maleficent, and like they don't really do much. They do confront Sora and the team, and I love Sora like negging. Or I'm sorry, Pete negging Sora when he's like, "Oh, he looks like really weak. We should probably just kill him right now."
Maleficent's
really
like,
funny.
I don't care about Sora. Let's move on with our lives.
Yeah, she's really over it. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, so we get another cutscene, and Zigbar shows up. You guys remember Zigbar?
Of course.
So Zigbar was basically just the organization guy with a gun. This game wants you to... He's got a lot of backstory in this game. He's essentially the most important organization member at this point. So keep your eyes on Zigbar, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, can't wait.
Okay,
Can't
so
wait to learn more
Zigbar
about
isn't
Zigbar.
an alternate name for Xenohort?
No.
What was that one?
Xehanort-
Zemnis.
No,
Zemnis,
so the
Zemnis,
organization
Ansem, and
people...
Xehanort, all the same dude.
No, well, so the thing about the organization guys is their names are their original names with the name X in it. Mm-hmm. So Ansem is Zemnis, and I don't know what I don't remember what Zigbar's actual name
It's
is.
like Ignis or some shit.
I think it's like Gear. It starts with I don't fucking know. I don't know.
So, like,
But,
your organization name
Some
would
of them
be
use their new names, their original
We'll be
names. That is,
Jixum.
Jixum.
some of them use their original names, and some of them
Mix
use
it.
their new names, and it's impossible.
Yeah.
And specifically, well, I guess we'll get there.
So Zigbar shows up and he says some cryptic stuff about trying to find the hearts joined to yours, and that there's a reward for you if you... So, like, basically the organization's trying to manipulate Sora
Yeah,
to
I
do
mean, he says
something.
there's
Yeah.
a reward, but he's like, you'll get what's coming to you, your
Yeah.
reward.
Your eternal reward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Meg flies in. This is after you get through kind of the first part of Thebes, and she says, everybody in Thebes is safe. This is after you rescue all the fire people.
Mm-hmm.
And you look in the distance and you see Mount Olympus, and it's being sieged by Hades, so you decide to make your way there. This is where a lot of the combat stuff really happens. And I like that the environments are dynamic. Like, in some areas it's like raining and thundering, and in some areas it's really bright. It just adds a lot of color to a lot of the worlds, where, like, a lot of the worlds in the first couple games were just these very samey, big rooms with shitty textures around.
Well, yeah, the first one, kind of notoriously, the first, like, if I remember from when we played it, the levels at when we played them at the time, we were like, this is awful. It was like
Oh,
Alice's.
Remember
the
the
Wonderland
was
worlds.
one of
I
them.
hate them.
the Wonderland world had just like flower wallpaper around it.
Yeah,
the
you could
Tarzan
see the
world that's just like a
corners.
weird series of boxed.
Oh,
Jungle
Tarzan was
rooms.
bad too, yeah.
There's a couple other ones. I'm not remembering.
Ugh, so disappointing.
Yeah. But this game does a little bit better job at making you feel like you're in an actual place and not just like a room.
Olympus as you climb up and as you get into the city itself, like it's big.
Like,
There's exploring
honestly,
to do.
guys,
There's treasure chests to find.
Wait for some of these other worlds because they are fucking gorgeous. Oh my god, the worlds in this game, they put so much into them. They're gorgeous.
And they really stick with the art style of the property, I think.
Yeah, they're all so unique. But like, so we make our way to Olympus, and like Olympus, the way it's rendered is so nice looking.
It's all clouds and pretty.
It's all clouds and like brass, and like it's just really neat to look at.
I loved this as a Greek mythology-ophile. Going to Olympus is like the thing I want to do in every video game. I don't care about the setting
That's cool.
or what the deal is. I just want to go to different versions of Olympus. I was sad that all my god friends were not there. But there
Yeah,
are like
this was
hints
fun.
of them around. Like you can see a bunch of spears representing Athena, and you can find Hephaestus's forge at one point. I don't know if y'all
Yeah,
did
the
that.
forge is cool. If you finish the little forge mini game, then you get a really good accessory for like the beginning of the game. So that's really neat too.
And I did.
I did that too. But this is where the game, and like I think this is where I got kind of mechanic overload when I first played it, because this is the part where the game introduces air stepping,
Yeah.
which is holding R1 to bring up like a targeting reticle, like a first person targeting reticle, and then zooming to another place in the environment. And I felt like I just did not have the reflexes to do this well. And like with all the ride stuff and the keyblade changes and the magic, and it just felt like a little bit too much, but I got used to it.
The way this is introduced, I thought was very strange, where they're like
Yeah.
looking up a building and Goofy's like, yeah, but how are we going to get up there? And Sora's just like, oh, I can essentially fly. No big deal.
Yeah.
That's almost like a fun callback to the final boss of Kingdom Hearts 2, which had you like essentially slicing buildings in half. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember
when
that.
all those wrecked buildings from the Heartless City were flying at you and you cut them in half. It's almost like a kind of a neat callback to that.
Yeah. Well, and the way
fact that
that
he can
Sora
fly from
runs
place
up
to place.
walls is from that fight too, right? Because he
Yes, yeah.
ran straight up a vertical wall in that.
Yeah, I think that's cool how they kind of made that part of the gameplay. So we make our way to Olympus, and when we get there, like when Hercules leaves, he mentions that his dad is the king of the gods, who is Zeus. How did they not know that before? Sora's like, his dad's a king of the
I know.
gods?
None of this makes sense in the context of the previous games if this
Like,
is set during Hercules 1.
The boss fight for Hercules in the
But then
first
again-
game had him form changing into a god, and you couldn't damage him. So...
This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but like we learn that, I guess. And so we...
To be fair, it never makes sense when Sora interacts with the game's plots, no matter what. So I guess...
It's true, yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
They've given... like, part of me is almost like just rolling with it. Like, fuck it. Who cares? Just
Yeah.
do
It's true.
whatever and
You just
say
kinda have
whatever
to
and it
let your
doesn't matter.
expectations go a little bit, yeah. All right, so as we make our way up to Olympus, we do get kind of a mini boss fight. I was kind of impressed how quickly John put this boss down when I was watching him stream last night. But this Rock Titan, as you're going up Mount Olympus, you get your first Rock Titan boss fight, and John this wall running up, John expertly dodged everything, even one that John jumped out from the mountain, dodged out, and then back in, and I was like, I don't know how he did that. I didn't even know you could do that.
I'm just, pro level gamer.
Yeah, John's a pro gamer.
Honestly,
he did
and
it
you were saying it
and
while I
put
was
this
grabbing a beer. You're right. The way that this kind of like... I like the way that this feels like it has continuity of movement from Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, by the end of
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2, you could do this shit. So, like, I feel like most games, honestly, they took all your powers away. I'm very surprised that they were like, but you can still fucking fly.
I was like, you can still do the cool shit. you're, like you're still Neo.
Yeah.
But so you do defeat the Rock Titan on the way up. But when you get there to Olympus and make your way through all the stuff, you get to where Hades is making his final siege on Mount Olympus and is ready to conquer the cosmos. And there's 3 Titans here, plus Hades. So there's Rock Titan, Ice Titan, Tornado Titan, and Hades. And you think all hope is lost, but you decide to do the fight anyway. And the first boss fight here is between Rock Titan / Ice Titan.
Yeah. And I like that fight because they combine to like put armor onto the rock one, and you have to like break that off, and that's really neat. Then you can smash the face. I didn't find any of these. I mean, but I'm playing this on medium difficulty. I'm sure I could. There's like
me
2
too.
more
they're not
levels
hard.
of difficulty that I could play
One
at, but
thing
I'm
that
not.
one thing that took
It's
me an
early in the game.
embarrassingly long time to figure out was that you could run up the like little mound in the middle and then hit their faces really easily. I was like trying to smack their hands and stuff.
But
we
they're
beat-
good. The scale is cool.
Yeah, this game like has huge boss arenas, and after this, you beat these guys who only had a couple health bars apiece, and then you get this really, really cool spectacle fight with the Tornado Titan, which like just kind of took the scale of that fight and blew it up times 10.
Yeah.
Which was really fun.
You ever been in a tornado, Jim?
I've been in a few tornadoes. I'm from Kansas.
Well, I know.
Tornado Alley.
So I was curious as to like how
And you have
felt.
been in tornadoes, just to be clear. You have been inside of a tornado.
I've been in a house that has had a tornado directly overhead. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can I tell you my tornado story?
Yeah.
No.
It's real short. I went to college and film school in Colorado, and I was driving home in my Firebird, the coolest car I ever owned, and then I heard air raid sirens, and I was like, is this Silent Hill? Like, I never heard that before. And then I like looked on the horizon towards Kansas, because basically one side of Denver's mountains, the other side is a flat plain that descends slowly into Kansas. And I saw a funnel cloud. It was far away, but I was still like, holy crap. That was terrifying. My brother, I think, did I talk about it on the podcast? I think I did, about my brother seeing funnel clouds the other day, the other week, and then telling my mom to go downstairs, and she's like, all right, I'll do that after I feed the cats. It's like, wow.
Yeah, in Kansas, like one of my actually first formative memories is being in a basement while there's a tornado overhead, and there was a kitten who was seeking shelter. I was in a basement seeking shelter at the basement window and meowing, and we let the kitten in and adopted it.
Oh, that's really sweet.
I have a tornado story. I fought a tornado once with my fists, and it was like,
Oh, cool.
Matt,
Well, that's what
you're
I
too
was
tough for me.
curious
And then I
about.
ate it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, is
Now I have
this
tornado power.
is this representative of what it's like to fight a real tornado in your experience, Jim?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, you get right to the bottom of it on the ground.
You smack
and
it in the
smack
face
it.
with your keyblade by air stepping to different pieces of building around it.
Wait, is that what Hercules does? Does he eat the tornado in the end?
I don't think so.
No, he doesn't. He throw it into outer space.
Oh,
Yeah, he throws it into outer space. And it
that's
explodes.
right. He throws it
grabs
into
like,
outer
like
space.
Pecos Bill and throws it into outer space.
Pecos Bill.
Kurt Russell is Pecos Bill, by the way.
What's
I
that?
think if you hit a tornado hard enough, like in the direction against the way it was spinning, you could dissolve it.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Ask Bill Nye.
Bill
Have you
Nighy?
seen that tweet that's been?
Yes. Ask him.
Bill Naive.
Yeah, ask him some science questions and be like, I don't know, but I was in Centurions, the TV, the movie, because they paid me handsomely.
You talking about Bill Nighy from the first Underworld movie?
Yeah.
Or from Love Actually?
Yeah,
Oh no. I don't want to fight that tornado.
Honestly, that's science. If you pay me $10,000, I'll tell you that science is good.
I am. I'm going to ask Bill Nighy. I wonder if he's on Twitter.
Yeah. Ask him all your favorite science questions.
I'm sure he's like gotten that actually, don't you think?
He must
Bill
have.
Nighy Science Guy. He is a classic bit.
Bill Nighy Science Guy. That's my new favorite Squares character. Bill Nighy Science.
Who performs him? Because I don't have a Bill Nighy bit. John, I feel like
Yeah,
you've got
sure.
one baked
Yeah.
out.
It's just a really slow
you just
British
have-
voice.
And you just have to keep going on about you'll do like because you know how he's one of those awesome British actors, and I think this is great. Who'll be an absolute trash and like the top of the line like
Yeah,
Oscar
because he's
contenders.
a fucking good actor.
Yeah, I
He
think
can
it's
do
great.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, he's amazing. Yeah.
Look, Tim Curry was in Clue.
yep.
Tim
And
Curry
Congo.
was in something good, probably. I don't
He was
know,
in that
everything he's in
amazing
is good.
episode of
Clue is
Psych.
good.
Do you ever see the episode of Psych with him in it? It's wonderful.
Have you guys seen Congo?
Yeah, I
no.
mean, it's not good.
Have you seen McHale's Navy?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I love that.
McHale's
I love that
Navy.
movie.
I
Love
finally
Tom
watched
Arnold.
Muppet Treasure Island for the first time.
What's the Navy movie
that
with
movie's good.
Frasier?
Yeah, he was great.
That's McHale's Navy, Matt.
No. Is it?
Oh, no, you're thinking of, is it Somebody's War?
No.
And Tim
There
Curry did
is-
the thing of taking
What's-
the text very seriously, which I love in those Muppet movies.
Oh, he's in Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah.
I love that because all the dialogue is from the books. Even, yeah, it's so good. Matt, you're thinking of Down Periscope. Bud.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah,
Is that the
movie's
one with
funny.
Kelsey Grammer?
Yeah, that movie's funny. All right, so we have beaten the bosses on Olympus. So the whole reason why we came here was because Sora wanted to understand how Hercules got his power back after losing it in Kingdom Hearts 2, and he tells you that all you need is something to fight for with all your heart. And even though Sora doesn't have it right now, he's sure he's going to find it eventually. And this world ends on a high note with everybody laughing and
It's
being
nice.
friends. I loved watching John stream this because at the end of this, as everybody's laughing, Johnny joined in on the laughing, and it was cutting out. John's like,
This has been a great recap of John's stream.
Yeah.
Sora
I
has
liked,
partial amnesia, right? We haven't really talked about that.
Yeah, he still has. Well, no, his memory's been pieced back together at this point, but he had amnesia from Chain of Memories. Between Chain of Memories and Kingdom Hearts.
And he was like, he lost his heart in Dream Drop Distance. He was kind of possessed by Xehanort for a second. And so he's like kind of very much fresh Sora.
Everybody gets Norded.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, which is that I like this too. I feel like most games would definitely be at this point like, oh, will I ever get my power back? But instead, this game is nice and pleasant, and they're just
Well,
all
Sora's
like,
so
yep,
positive about it.
we're gonna
He's like,
figure it
we're
out.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
everybody's positive about it.
It
I
makes
will
sense
say-
after
Navy are
everything
great,
they've
and I
been
wish that I
through.
had them as friends in real life.
And then we get a
Instead,
little
I have
post
you.
world. We get a
Instead,
little
I have this.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We're just like Sora's friends.
Oh, come
Yeah.
on, John. That was a great community reference, and you missed it.
I'm
'cause
sorry.
You're reading the fucking news.
I can't stop.
We get a nice little post-world cutscene with Pete digging a big hole in that garden that we passed through
was
with Maleficent
great.
because they got a tip that there's a black box there. They dig it up. It's not the box they're looking for. It's Pandora's
Was it
box.
the flight recorder?
Oh, ew.
We'll
finally like-
investigate this old air crash.
Pandora's
and then
box,
we get
which
like a
was
real.
Pandora's box, which was given to Pandora. She was told not to open it. Her curiosity got the better of her. She opened it up, and all the bad things that are in the world came out, like illness and famine and things like that.
And like guilt and jealousy.
So wait,
Wasn't
she
it a
existed
jar?
before illness and famine and like evil?
Yep, she was like first human, and there was none of that stuff. And then she opened
Actually,
it up.
Vanessa, Pandora had a jar, not a box. Just saying.
Okay, but then she opened it up, and that's the original sin. Later,
Wow.
we got the story of Eve eating the apple. Similar story, women's bee opening boxes.
Oh, that means it's all fake. There's not a shared origin for all this, so it's all just garbage.
Spicy
cut
gym
to-
take.
we
cut
solved
to-
it.
Cut to the Dark World.
Oh,
So we cut
fuck!
to,
Are we finally at the Dark World?
Yeah,
How the
we're from
fuck
the
are
Dark
we
World.
still recording? We're gonna have to cut this thing short, guys. I think that we're gonna have to stop it here.
We can get through. We got just a little bit left.
Nah, we probably just should stop it here.
So we cut to. This is really short. I'll keep this really short. So we cut to the Dark World. Mickey and Riku are looking for Aqua. And
Yeah, what's not to cut short? Nothing happens.
yeah, I mean, you get a little battle here. So they're looking for
Mm-hmm.
Aqua. They get to the beach, which has been featured in pretty much all the Kingdom Hearts games, I think.
I remember this from the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. Riku and fucking Sora got stuck here and then
Yeah,
just kind
yeah.
of walked out, and we were all like, what the
Well,
fuck?
they found like the message in a bottle from
Yeah.
Kyrie, and
Yeah.
that allowed them to come home.
Yeah,
that's
At first
why-
they were like, I guess we live on this beach forever. And then
that's
2
why
seconds later,
Riku-
guess we don't.
That's why Riku looks older now, because it's the beach that makes you grow old.
Yeah. So they're on the beach, and then they get kind of ambushed by this big kind of mountain or this big tube of Heartless, which like these things were all over that tech demo.
Man,
that
we've gotten through this
fragmentary
whole
passage.
conversation without talking about how. I'm sorry, we were just talking about how Riku looks older. How about the fact that Sora has fucking Wolverine hair now? Straight
That's
up.
cool. That's
Straight up Wolverine hair.
I haven't
Yes.
even thought about it that way.
He looks exactly like Hugh Jackman in fucking X-Men 1. I promise.
Oh.
No, he
It's
doesn't.
crazy. Well, not in like the face and body, but his hair. I mean, it's brown and spiky instead of black and
Imagine if
pomaded,
Sora was
but
just Hugh
it's the
Jackman.
same shape.
Wow, he really grew up.
That's what
He
I
has-
want for
legitimately,
Kingdom
now that I've
Hearts
said
4.
Now that I've said it, they're working on Kingdom Hearts 4, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm really happy about that.
It's gonna put Sora in a pair of Levi's and a tank top.
I want
I
Hugh
mean, this
Jackman
one's
to be
obsessed with
doing the
plaid.
voice now.
This is the plaidest game I've ever played.
I want Hugh Jackman to do the voice and to use his actual accent.
And I want Sora to say the classic Wolverine line: "Men want just one thing, and it's disgusting."
Men want... I can't do Australian. Let me think. Aussie. Men
Mean
want just one thing, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Donald, Goofy, let's go.
All right, so nothing really. They fight this tube thing.
Well, yeah, this big like tube of Heartless shows up, and we do beat it, but Riku's Keyblade is broken.
And they are looking for someone named Aqua, who I know is a lady, and I know she's in Birth by Sleep, but I have not seen her in a game yet.
No, but honestly, John, my professional opinion as a Kingdom Hearts lore master is that Aqua is probably the best character in all the series.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
She's a lady with agency, so that's good.
She's a lady with agency and is such a well-written character. In her voice acting, I don't know who does it, but wow, it's great in all the games. So we're looking for Aqua. We can't find her. Mickey thinks she's delved into a deeper abyss. We fight the tube of Heartless. Riku's
Would we call
Keyblade gets
it
broken.
a tube, or would we call it a writhing black phallus?
It is very phallic. So we beat the phallus. And we decide to go back to Yen Sid's to power up our Keyblades. That's what Mickey says. He's like, maybe we should have powered up our Keyblades before descending into hell. And so you decide to go to Yen Sid's to power up your Keyblade. And this is where we get the reunion post Dream Drop distance between Riku and Sora. And really all that you really need to understand here is that you're going to keep journeying to discover the power of waking. You get a little bit of a callback to somebody else in your living inside of you when they mention Aqua being in the darkness still, and Sora's like, I'll volunteer to get her. But everyone's like, no, you can't.
Yeah, you don't
suck
have.
still.
You don't know how to set 2 alarms.
Yeah, you haven't leveled up yet.
Vanessa, what's your power of waking? How do you wake?
I tend to, well, I say tend, I mean always have very vivid dreams, which I remember in the morning every night, all nights. And my REM cycle is
Very weird.
long and persistent. So
This is one of the reasons I claim that you are a witch.
I wake up in the middle of a dream every morning, and I
What?
smash the snooze
Yeah,
button.
same here.
And then
Yeah,
I
I do the dreams too.
finish up my
guys
little
are
dream
weird.
in that 15-minute snooze slot, and then I get out of bed.
I'm almost positive that I've read that dreams really only take like 60 to 120 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe, but they feel like a lot longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they feel longer. And I think
Yeah.
you only remember the dreams you're having like right when you wake up, I
Yeah.
have heard. But every time I wake
Sometimes
up,
it can
I
feel like
have
you
been
remember
having a
long
dream.
stretches of dreams, though, right?
Oh, yeah. And
Well, it's only when you try to remember them that you can't.
That's not true. You can try and remember. I also not
Oh, jeez, sorry.
that
I can
often-
remember a dream I had when I was a kid, when I was literally like a
Yeah.
6-year-old or something. But like, I almost at this point in my life have realized that I think it's just a story that I've told. Like, I think I had a dream, but I think that I told the story of that dream to myself so many times that really that's what I remember and not the dream itself.
When I was young, I had reoccurring nightmares, which is not that unusual. But what was unusual is that they eventually evolved to become episodic, so that
Oh,
stories would continue from night to night, not in like, and the next night this happened, but it would just pick up occasionally.
I wanna-
Turned out
I-
pretty good, though. The little monster I used to dream about, my last dream of him, he became a good guy.
Yay!
Yeah. So that's a 1 demon exercised, 998 to go.
I want to
You
give
guys
you
want
guys
to
shit
know? You guys want to know how I wake up?
Yeah.
covered
I
in
have-
cum.
I have.
What kind
Oh, jeez. I have an app on my phone that when I really need to wake up and like really have to get out of bed, it makes me answer math problems.
Oh, you
I
mentioned
have
that
it-
before, yeah.
And I have it set to hard math, so it makes me do like the order of operations on math problems before I answer them correctly, or else my alarm will not stop going off.
Oh,
That's
no.
so-
And I have to answer 5 of them before it stops. Yeah.
That's a lot.
My alarm would never go
Well,
off.
I'm really smart, Matt, so it's not that hard.
I have been getting better at math because I've been watching a lot of Countdown. So I can do those problems a lot more successfully now.
Oh, jeez.
It's on every day, all day.
Yet. Lord.
All right, so
Yeah, and Sid's tower.
So why does Yensid? What does Yensid tell? What's Sora gonna do? We know what Mickey and Riku are doing. What's Sora doing?
Yensid tells you, so you kind of start to volunteer to go to the Dark World, and Yensid's like, no, you can't do that. But he's like, you need to go out and like rediscover this power of waking. They say power of waking 15 times in this cutscene. Power of waking, power of waking.
He's got to
so
follow
you
his
decide-
heart.
Yeah, so you decide to leave, and on your way out, Yensid gives you a heart binder, which is like a summon thing, and a really nice piece of luggage. And
He gives you a
tells you to
Dooney
get
and
out.
Burke suitcase. It's
These
like
this is
straight
fancy
from
luggage.
like
Yeah.
the Dooney and Burke Disney collection.
Yeah.
I
This
was
is
very
product-
jealous
this
of
is
that.
product placement. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I have that sweet supernatural carry-on piece that I really like with like sort of supernatural themed stitching
That's cool.
inside. Yeah.
Oh, jealous. I don't have Dooney and Burke luggage, but I do have a Dooney and Burke purse, and it's nice.
Ooh.
It's not that fancy. They're like, I don't know. I got it at the outlet for $100. Don't worry about it.
All right, so we leave here, cut to the Gummi ship, and Ienzo calls us.
This is the
Who
boy
is-
with white hair that hangs down from his forehead. His bangs hang down from his forehead to his fucking clavicle. It's like it annoys the shit out of me. I want to wipe his hair out of his face.
So this guy's backstory.
Look at me when you're talking to me.
This guy's backstory. He was an assistant to Ansem, the
you awake
original
now, John?
Ansem, and he became an organization member and now got his heart back and wants to be a good guy again.
He used to
And
be
he-
Zexion, and now he's Iaction. Whatever.
Yeah, he offers to help you, and he tells you that you kind of talk about Roxas being in your heart because Sora's got a bunch
Yeah.
of people in his.
This shit's all fucked up because Donald and Goofy are almost like the naysayers here. They're like, you're acting fucking crazy, Sora, even though they know for sure that you like that you absorbed Roxas. They know that shit happened.
Donald tells Sora that maybe the best way to get his power of waking back is to be assaulted to his head. He's like,
Yeah.
maybe a good bonk on your head will get your powers back. And then Yensid is like, maybe.
You know what?
Yeah.
I haven't heard
It's worked
this
before, I think.
episode that I really Johnny, if you're present, if you're here, if you can hear me, Can you just do me a little recreation of Donald suggesting that Sora get bonked on the
no.
head?
I made John do his Donald voice on stream the other night, and I hated it.
show. This shows me how strong you guys are trying all the rules.
Again.
Diarrhea. That's pretty close right there. You almost got it.
You sound like a critter.
No, you came real close there.
This could be the series where Johnny finally cracks that duck.
Oh.
So anyway, you're on the phone with this emo twink, and
Dude, practice makes perfect. I think you might be getting it.
he has like a friend who hates Sora.
Yeah, he's got a buddy that seems clear. Fuck this stuff. Do we even have to talk about it, please?
Emo twink is like, Sora's on the phone, and
this guy.
his like buddy is like, ugh. Sora has a phone now. He got it from Chippendale. It's a smartphone.
Oh my god. No, that happens at the end of this. It's amazing though.
Well,
This is then. Gotcha.
Okay. We should probably zoom through the Twilight Town thing, huh?
Yeah,
We didn't even zoom through Yensid's tower. Did we talk about anything that happened there?
we did. We talked about it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got through Yensid's tower, and so we go to Twilight Town because that's the last place where that's what we associate with Roxas, so we go there.
Yep.
Through,
And we go to
bullshit
hang out with
game.
Dog Street.
First thing there, we go and we see Pence, Hayner, and Olette.
Yeah.
Dog Street.
Yep.
Matt, do you know what Dog Street is a reference to?
Yeah, we
The
talked
bouncer.
about it the first time
The
we fucking ran across
bouncer!
it.
Yeah, that game is so good.
No.
No, it's not.
Yes,
The fuck
it
are you
is.
talking
I
about?
loved it. I love playing the bouncer.
Sure.
You
It's
also
kinda
loved
like- it's-
Harvester.
I don't think he's ever played the bouncer. I don't believe
No,
you.
I have. The bouncer
I-
is kind of like an old
shenanigans.
school Quiet Man is kind of how the bouncer
The
is.
Quiet
Yeah,
Man's
it does-
the worst game we've ever played.
I know. That's why I like it so much.
All right, so we get to Twilight Town. The first thing we do is run into these guys. They're like, "Oh, hey, Sora, look out! There's some bugs. They never seen these bugs before." And then you fight the bugs, and then you're like, "Yeah, these might come back, so you got to be on your toes." And then they're like, "Can you help us look for our friend?" And then you show them a photograph. Photograph is of Roxas, and they have the same photograph without Roxas. Am I getting it right?
Yeah, they're like, we don't know who you're talking about, but we remember him in our hearts.
But like we did this the last game.
Yeah,
we
we sure
did.
The people and regular people.
Yeah,
they
they
know
we
know
what's
did
who
going
this.
on.
Roxas is. They know the
Yeah.
concept of Roxas.
Yeah, it's
They
weird
suggest-
that they suddenly don't know who Roxas is because we definitely covered
But
this.
they kind of usher you through this, and they're like, just go to the mansion. Remember
Yeah,
the mansion?
And also,
go to the mansion.
also, they're even legitimately like, Sora's like, oh, a long time no see, guys. And you like, I think you're supposed to think like, oh, because it's Roxas speaking through his heart. But they're like, Hayner's like, it hadn't been that long. So like,
Yeah.
it hadn't been that long. You know who Sora is. It hadn't been that long since you saw him, but you don't remember what happened when that happened. Okay.
One thing I thought was neat that the entire Twilight Town is, except for like the station, is one level. Or even then, I think you can walk through everything without any loading screens, and that's
Yep.
really cool. Like, it's neat.
And it's upgraded. It looks beautiful. It has
They're
things going on.
NPCs.
There are NPCs all over the place.
This game, like the environments look so much better with these NPCs walking
The
around.
NPCs
There's a
are talking
million
about
things to
Raijin and
smack
Fujin.
get stuff out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're talking about struggle. Remember the
Yep.
struggle tournament
Yep.
from
Oh
last
my
game?
God.
Yeah.
You
I'm
say
so glad they
talking
didn't
about
make us do that
struggle.
again.
There's just a guy in the corner going, struggle!
Struggle.
Yeah. This
My-
game is cool, and I like in like a little corner of the town they're showing like an old movie with
That's
like an
amazing.
old Mickey cartoon.
It's an old
That's so
Sora
neat,
and
man.
Mickey,
Yeah,
Sora and the
Sora's
King
in it,
cartoon.
too.
Oh, it's
You're
it's
fucking
Sora
famous
and Mickey
here.
flying the planes
Yeah.
from the second game.
You
That's
know what?
So cool.
Well, yeah, that didn't work on when I was playing on PS5. That didn't load. Everyone was just looking at a blank screen. I wonder
Oh,
if it was because I
weird.
was streaming. Maybe
It's not
Oh.
always going, though. I don't think so.
This game does have very tight streaming regulations.
Yeah. I don't know.
maybe
But
that
like
is.
not in a way that pulls stuff from your gameplay. I think it's just a big warning at the front.
Yeah.
But
It says
yeah,
not
maybe-
to listen to the music.
Yeah.
But it does
Well,
have, I mean, they take breaks. Like, the movie isn't always going.
No, yeah, and that's cool because there's a lucky emblem on that screen that you can only get if you wait for the break in the picture.
The game calls it lucky emblems. They're just hidden Mickeys, like from
Yeah,
the
they're just
Disney
hidden
parks.
Mickeys.
They're hidden
yeah.
Mickeys.
And
I like
Listen
that
to the
it gives
Hidden
you a
Mickey
camera
podcast.
and I like that it gives you a camera and gives you rewards for taking pictures
yeah,
of them, though.
but there's a frustrating number of them in Mount Olympus that I could not take pictures of. Like, that's really annoying.
Vanessa, you
Because
should
you
listen
you have to
to
go
backtrack.
back.
Yeah, because
I'm
you have to
not gonna do that.
backtrack to get them.
Yeah.
Vanessa. You should listen to the Hidden Mickey podcast. It's got Carrie from Oh No, Ross and Carrie, and a voice actress. And they do an episode like twice a year, but it's always insane, and it's really funny. And they always
What's it
pretend
about?
that they do it every week. It's about basically being adult Disney fans who don't like Disney but also love
Vanessa
Disney.
knows about that. She's a Disney adult.
Yeah, it's a good podcast.
I like Carrie. She's a cool lady, and I think she liked a tweet of mine once or something. And we had a
so
little
yeah,
Twitter
you should-
conversation.
You should definitely listen to Hidden Mickeys. That's how I know what a
Maybe I
Hidden
will.
Mickey is.
The only podcast I listen to is the Taskmaster podcast. Not both of them.
Vanessa's
I'm
in
not
deep with the
that. No,
Taskmaster
I'm
stuff.
not, because there's 2 official Taskmaster podcasts, and I only listen to one of them. So
Vanessa only eats Taskmaster branded food.
It's
And
true.
wears Taskmaster branded clothes.
Yeah.
And
Taskmaster
unfortunately,
branded toilet paper.
it's just instant ramen, so her sodium levels are going through the roof.
it's really bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a healthy show in many ways.
Have we talked about how we run into Remy the Rat in the woods?
No,
That's what we're about to do. So our old buds tell you to head to the mansion, and on the way we get into the woods and we run into a rat that's like seemingly hoarding fruit or something, but can't transport everything because there are like monkey monsters around. So we have to
Heartless.
defeat the monkey heartless. Yeah.
you missed. Or Jim was there when I was making fun of Americans, where I was like saying that this is American idea of haute cuisine, and it's a rat making dinner.
John, last night I watched you stream the whole time you were streaming, but I didn't I wasn't in your chat because I was doing other stuff on my phone. But I was like, I'm lurking on John's stream. I watch you do all this.
And I was
It's
just getting all the Americans watching mad, saying like,
fun. Yeah. John's like, is this the Americans' idea of haute cuisine?
Noted foodie John Brandon.
yeah. So you held.
I mean,
help him get his
yes. Some trash prepared by a rat is absolutely.
It washes its paws first. What's the problem?
It's true. It's true.
It never
and
touches the
then
food
you go
itself.
to the mansion, and inside the mansion is not a spooky ghost, and it's not Nominee. Inside the mansion is just a computer, and then Pence shows up, and he's like, this is Unix. I know this." And he does his Unixing, but he can't get past the username he does know the username and password because it's sea salt ice cream. But I think
John, did you just make a Jurassic Park
I
reference?
did.
Wow.
But then they get a phone call from soft hair twink, Pete, anime Pete Wentz.
Yeah, and he's like, "Are you on the computer? I'm on the computer, and I saw you log on to a computer. You can't use that computer. Okay, bye."
But he unlocks the computer, doesn't he?
No, you can't use it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then you decide to go.
Well, Ienzo calls you.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah,
"Sora, are
anime
you in front of a
twink.
computer?"
yeah, that's
And
it. Anime
so
twink.
he decides. So he walks you. There's kind of an IT cutscene here where Ienzo's like, "Here's my network address, and let's make a network." And then you do
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
And so you make a little computer network.
And Sora's like, "I know computer."
He does know computer. He's friends with Tron. But his goal in going there was to go to the digital world so he could drop
An
Roxas off
excellent point, Vanessa.
But they say Roxas
You're
is not
absolutely
there.
right. This game does not respect its canon. In fact, it reminds me a lot of a certain Star Wars show that just.
Uh-oh.
Never mind.
The Ewoks cartoon from 1983.
there.
Don't they tell you here that Roxas is not there?
It's Sora. I felt like Sora knows that Roxas isn't there, but
because
he's
he
looking
talks
for
to.
Roxas.
Well, maybe I'm going to jump ahead here, but doesn't he talk to Ansem and Xemnas about how he's going to split Roxas out of himself into the digital world?
And they're like, all you have
But
to
isn't
do
that
is
exactly
restart
the
this.
opposite of what he fucking did in the first game? In this last game?
Yeah.
And he's like,
That's right
all you have
after
to do is accept darkness into your heart, and then you'll be able to get Roxas out. I'm like, okay, sign me up. It sounds fine to me.
Yeah. Well, right after this, when they tell you that that Roxas is gone from the digital world, you leave the mansion and you run into Xemnas and who's the other guy?
Garnahorp.
Ansem. Garnahorp.
They're both
It's
bits
Ansem,
of Xehanort. One is his nobody, and one is his heartless.
Yes, but we've defeated them both, so
I
we
forgot
don't know
there's
why
nobodies
they're still
and
around.
heartlesses.
Yeah,
And also, I
somebody's
think this is
in
around the
Hollis,
time we get a cutscene where where Mickey I think kind of explains, like, we think that Xemnas looks like Riku because he took over Riku for a
That's
while
from Kingdom
before he
Hearts
had a
2.
body. I know, but they like explain it here. There's a cutscene that tries to explain
Well,
why.
that's in the Dark World where Riku's like, I feel weird, and Mickey's like, that's because you've been so many people. You've been Ansem and Zem, and like lists all the weird shit that's happened to Riku. But Ansem and Xemnas show up, and they're like, you don't know what you're doing with Roxas. If you separate him from your heart, he's got to be put into a vessel. And you don't really know what that means, and then they make you fight a bunch of heartless, and it really
But
doesn't
Sora's
matter.
like, a heart can live anywhere. A heart can live in a computer.
Oh, he does say that. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
A heart can live anywhere.
It's also fucking wild that, like, essentially the big bad of the game just kind of walks in and out of frame, you know?
It's like, hey,
without
what's up?
repercussion. Nobody does anything or like tries to stop them. They're just like, oh, what's up, guys? You know how
Well,
we're
and-
trying to get Keyblade wielders so we can kill you guys? Glad you're
they
here.
say that they would like to have Roxas back, which makes sense because Roxas was an Organization 13 member, just like them.
It's weird
pretty
though because they
interesting
warn him
because
off of
they-
doing it.
Well, they say we want Roxas back, but also say that Roxas never really existed.
Roxas doesn't exist, and I will die on that hill.
Roxas wasn't nobody. He was Sora's nobody.
He's a
He
nobody.
doesn't exist.
Yeah, you know who exists? Nobody.
But he grew his own heart because he's so
A nobody
cool.
can't grow their own heart. They're
He
nobody.
did, though.
Nobody.
He did, though.
Nobody,
Hey, knock, knock.
Nobody.
Jim,
Well, you know,
knock,
they're
knock.
the exception to the
Hashtag
rule.
Roxas did it.
Jim,
Hashtag Roxas did
knock,
it.
knock.
Who's there?
Speaking
Nobody.
of hashtags,
Oh,
the few loading
okay.
scenes in this game do
Oh,
feature
yeah.
what appear to be fucking gummy phone pics posted
yeah.
to Disneygram
Gummy
with
phone.
complete
With, like,
with
heart-
hashtag
heart
like
hashtag.
searching for aqua aqua searching
Yeah.
hashtag
Chip is,
finding myself
Chip and Dale
hashtag
are like-
hard on.
We got you. We got you this gummy phone. And then Dale's like, yes, you can read all about Dave Chappelle's latest tweets. They're so good.
Chip sounds weird to me in this game. Like, Dale sounds like Dale, and Chip sounds like a precious little girl.
Well, at least he doesn't sound like John Mulaney. Moving
That's
on.
true. Wait for Kingdom Hearts 4. They go to Chip and Dale World.
Starring Joe. Sora's voiced by Joe Rogan in Kingdom Hearts 4.
You can't
James
say
Woods voices
anything
most
anymore.
Yeah. All right. So, we fight a bunch of nobodies. We make our way back to the town, and we meet Scrooge, who says that he's opening up a bistro, and that he's hired a great chef, and that you need to go around and find some ingredients to kind of fill out the menu.
And while he's saying this, his little top hat starts a wiggling.
I like, you know what? I like the inclusion. It's the biggest bummer in this game, and there's really no Final Fantasy characters in it at all. But I like the fact that they pull in Scrooge and some of the more ancillary Disney characters.
Was that, sorry, was that what's his face doing Scrooge? Doctor Who? Voicing Scrooge?
It's Doctor
Doctor Who?
Whom, and you're referring to David Tennant.
Yeah. Was that David
I
Tennant voice?
I did not.
I don't
I
think
did not
so.
get that impression
I
at
don't think
all.
so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
He just
yeah.
sounded weird, but I hadn't
Didn't
watched
sound like
DuckTales.
even barely
in-
I
sounded
think,
like a
this
professional
was, I
voice
think this
actor.
was pre the new series.
Oh, okay.
I think that series is already over, by the way, which is a bummer because I heard it
is
was
over,
good, but I
yeah.
barely saw it.
Yeah, I watched
I've
a
seen
little,
some episodes.
but
Really
you
good.
know,
yeah.
You know, that stuff doesn't fly. It doesn't work so well when you're an
But
adult.
you get a lot of really cool mini games. Like I like
me.
the
I'm a big
ingredient
old
stuff
grown
here.
adult. Look at me.
So you can pull ingredients from different places in the environment and cook them at the bistro, and it's a little fun set of mini games. Like
Yeah, Matt told me to play it, and I was like, no, I've turned off the console after I finished the chunker. I was like, I'm not playing any
like
further.
the only thing that like these mini games last
They're okay.
at the most 4 seconds.
Okay,
Yeah, they're
that's
like
not so bad.
WarioWare's length games.
Yay.
But there's a lot of pressure baked into those 4 seconds. Can
I
you
really didn't find them
slowly
that
crack
hard.
This egg and I thought they were difficult.
I didn't miss a single egg. The only thing that got me was
Did you
the
get
first.
excellent
I
or
started. I think I mostly got good.
Wow,
I don't
that's
really
basic
know.
shit.
Okay.
N. Riedel voices Scrooge McDuck in this game. N. Riedel of Forfar, Angus, Scotland.
All right, I'm gonna cut that. So.
You got fucking little.
Are we done? Oh my god.
Almost. All right, so we learn all of the stuff with Remy the Rat, all the cool mini games, and then we get told to just kind of go and find our way. Like they tell Sora to explore, to find his power of waking. So that's the thing. So this is where the game kind of opens up. But that's it for this chunker.
All right.
So just so that we're all on the same page for next chunker, that means turn around from the save point and walk to the exit so that you can go to your gummy ship and fly to the next world. 'Cause ain't nothing
Wait, can't you
more
go-
gonna happen here.
Can't you
Well,
go
there-
to the gummy ship from the save point, Matthew?
Oh,
Yes.
probably. I don't know. What am I, a game expert?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Never played a video game in my life.
Oh, they're fun.
It's my first time. My
Yeah, I
first
know
day,
that.
in
So
fact.
for the next chunker, we will explore the other two worlds in this zone. There are multiple zones, and it is the Tangled World and the Toy Story World. So,
Ooh.
whatever order you guys want to tackle those, we'll discuss them next time.
Okay.
Can't
I
wait
went
to
to Toy
explore
Story World.
the friend zone with you guys.
Whoa.
I went to Toy Story World, and it is such a delight running around in Andy's room. Honestly, and you just run up the walls, by the way, because that's, as
You
they've
get
established.
pretty much the best
earlier
keyboard
in
in the
this
game
game.
in that one too. By the way.
Whoa, wee, wow.
But John, I think there's some stuff to talk about in your bullshit minigame corner.
Well, all I minigamed this time was finding food for
Nemo.
Ratatouille, and I also
He has a name.
Ratatouille.
His name is
And
not
I-
Ratatouille. That's the name of a
als-
dish.
I
Man,
also,
I said that on stream and Vanessa struck me down. I
Also,
was like, "Oh, it's Ratatouille," and Vanessa's like, "No, it's not."
there's the gummy ship section. So, the gummy ship section, the acceleration stuff is a bit weird. You only have like go and don't go speeds.
Go and don't go.
Yeah, I
And-
know. The like you're either going or you're standing still, and that
Yeah.
kind of sucks. Yeah.
There's no like
Isn't that
speed
life, though?
shifting. Yeah, it's true.
You're either going or you're standing.
but it's not
still.
a good gameplay mechanic.
But
The gummy ship never has
otherwise,
been.
That's
The shooting's a bit better. Like I got right away how the lock-on mechanic worked, which I remember took me like the entire game last time.
Oh, the last one was really difficult. You had to
Yeah.
have like a whole other accessory equipped.
So yeah, those are the mini games. I promise I will do some of the cooking next time on Square Roots.
Ooh, I'm interested to hear what you think about the cooking because it's easy, but also very tense.
It's kind of
Like-
tricky to master, but once you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
I made 2 3-star dishes.
On my first complete playthrough of this game, which I just completed the other day, I got my bistro up to 4 out of 5 stars.
Wow.
And I would have gotten 5 out of 5, but I didn't find all the ingredients. Some of them are very difficult to find. All right, we did bullshit minigame corner. Vanessa,
Yeah.
what are you squarely against?
Oh, I'm squarely against the Gummi ship. Never liked it. Still don't like it. Do yourself a favor and invert those controls, or else it's going to feel like a piece of shit to fly around. I wish it was not in this game. I thought for a moment maybe it wouldn't be. Like when you go to Olympus, Sora just opens the gate with his heart and you don't have to do a Gummi ship flying thing.
Mhm.
I do think that this one has like special tubes you can go through
It does,
to make your
yeah.
little Gummi ship journey shorter.
Like fast travel tubies.
Yeah.
Well, they are, but they're not. Like they are static and they're always in one place, and they do not like go from one destination that you want to go to another. They just kind of squiggle across the map. So
No,
you
they
know,
go to
you kind of
different
use them at
places,
your
so-
own risk because they'll kind of fart you out wherever.
No, you can they point towards where the only worlds are in the zone. So like if you're leaving the first warp point, the big world
I
on the
think that
left,
we
you
have
go
a
to the
rule on
left
this show
one.
where
Big
you're not
world on the
allowed to
right, you go
correct
to the
me
right
about
one.
which way the Gummi ship goes. All right? It's stupid and shitty, and you're wrong. The end. This one's weird because instead of you fighting battles as you traverse the environment, it does have like a classic RPG system almost of like running into battles, and then you go to like a battle screen and you have to do a battle.
What?
But that battle is like the controls are slightly different, and like you have to kill all the enemies, I guess, or survive. I don't know. Like I did it. I had, I ran into a few, but
Seems like there's like
I
a
couldn't
time
tell.
limit or something.
yeah, there were definitely a couple of times like a few enemies left, so I wasn't quite sure what ended it.
On which part?
Yeah, what are you talking
Once
about?
you are out in the Gummi universe,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you're
well,
flying
like,
around in the
yeah,
Gummi ship,
so
you run into
the-
battles that take you to like battle arenas, like almost like a Final Fantasy game where you like
Yeah.
random battles. But you can kind of see them on the map.
The length of the battle and the difficulty of it is dependent on the number of hearts that you see in the overworld. Like, as you fly into them, they'll have a little heart rating under them. And so the ones with 1 star will last just like a minute or two. The other ones you kind of need upgraded firepower for. But, like, you'll never get into, like, a battle screen thing on the Gummi ship without seeing, like, a little heart rating thing.
Well, I'm being told that counts as Matt's squarely against. So, Johnny,
That
what
is
are you
was my
squarely against?
Yes.
I'm squarely against the opening Olympus level. I didn't think it was very exciting, and I think Twilight Town was a much better opening, which I know maybe is controversial. Don't people not like the Twilight Town opening? It just felt like more story momentum.
No,
than
No, I
Olympus.
agree with you
Kingdom
for
Hearts
sure.
2.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2 people hate the Twilight Town opening, like, 4-hour tutorial.
I agree with you, though. I think that starting you off in Twilight Town and then sending you to Olympus would have made more sense.
Yeah. That's my only critique.
But Olympus
I
is
love
half
those
tutorial
amusement
level.
park rides. The pirate thing is so dumb. I love it. I love it. All right, let's. We're all done with our squarelies.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a Patreon, and our Patreon has 2 tiers, just like I do. 1, 2, and one is for $3, and for $3 a month, the American dollars, you do get access to every single bonus episode we do, and this month it's on Indigo Prophecy. I gotta finish that. I mean, I have finished it before, but I want to finish it again.
Hang it up.
And for $5 a month, you get to vote.
Hang it up.
I don't think this is going to be a super long game, so we'll probably be putting up another vote in a few weeks. So we'll get to vote again.
How long is it? 30, 40 hours, Jim?
Oh, that's
like
longer than I
25,
thought.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's 25 to 30? I looked up Birth by Sleep and it was like 30 hours minimum.
I think Birth by Sleep has like lots of things you have to redo or like.
Well, yeah, Birth by Sleep has 3 protagonists, so there's different things you can do in different playthroughs.
Yeah. And so we're going to be voting again. I'm excited for the next vote. I think it's going to be an interesting one. And we also, for every single I haven't put Patreons in. Have we done Patreon? Did y'all?
Okay, I'll start us off. I would like to thank Grey Code, Michael Crawford, Butts on Parade, Is a Diva Cup Just a Shot Glass for Vampires, Samu Mitchell, Magpie Juju, Dr. Fine, say everyone's name, Adam H., Grayson, Cyril the Wolf, Metal Gear Solid 2 in 2022, Chief Hazard built Matthew Van Zandt a hot dog bed.
Oh, that's great.
I would like to thank Fresh Eyes, Vanessa Fan, Teen Wolfhard Bumpkins, Justin Ham, Joshua Rose, William Westgard, Friend of DeSoto, Aaron O'Toole, Jack Mazzell, Armin Hammer, Dylan Rowe, CharityWater.org, and Arthur A.
And I would like to thank Sean Gonzalez, My Battery is Low, Tracy the Borg Queen, Stu Skeel, Enna Mazzini. That was pretty good. Christian Go, Dovahkiin's Discount Dragon Barn, DJ Throw, Organization 13 going on 30. I like that. Sexy Grandma's Boy Toy is Amadeus Amadeus. Oh, you don't have the right?
I'd like to thank Wawawiwa, Tom, Abortion Rights Are Human Rights, Isaac Wright, Jake Dickerson, Tracy, Kita Renee, Princeton Fuentes Wants to Make the World Smooth, Matthew Newland, Mostly Rational Person, Jesse's Mom Pizza, and I'd also like to thank David Shook. I'm glad you're hanging in there. Sorry you've had
Get
such
well
a...
buddy.
Yeah.
Get well real fast.
soon.
Big shout outs to David Shook. And kudos for going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Jim.
Oh. All right, well, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to have an email read on the air, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. We have a Facebook group. It's a Square Roots podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Or you can find us on Twitter at Square Roots Pod.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes.
If you're listening on Spotify and you want to hear us talk about Kingdom Hearts 1 or Kingdom Hearts 2, look for our back catalog wherever you find podcasts that isn't Spotify.
Wow,
All right, for Square Roots, I am Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zandt.
I'm Johnny Van Zandt.
And I'm Vanessa, and I know now without a doubt that Kingdom Hearts is light.
Is it?
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Laters.